Daniel D. Mo is here, and she's actually backstage. Nana is here. So awesome to have you here. And guess what? We have. How do I do this?
You want me to turn it off?
Go back to this. Hang on, turn that over. Oh, DALI did it for me.
Okay.
DALI, you've got some band-aids on your head. If you move a little bit. Nah.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay, well, that makes perfect sense.
It does make perfect sense. Ah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, we have fun in here, don't we? Mo, I just have to give you full screen for a second. Please explain.
I am the crazy typist. Now, I don't know if you all have heard about this, but there are radio stations where they don't play any music, but they just do talking all the time. Now, I figured that I could do like just a talking blog on the internet about this case, but on radio where they don't even play music, which is weird, but it's full of like old white guys. Now, the only drawback to this between this and Twitch is that I can't show my boobs, but I'm pretty sure that if I get really, really, popular, they'll show my boobs on, advertisements. And honestly, my mom won't be too upset about like me being a Twitch kid if I'm doing, talk radio, which apparently is a thing. Oh my God.
I have to tell you something, Mo. Firstly, you look gorgeous. And secondly, you have some competition right above you because we have Keyboard Cat.
Ah, well, the cat will always win. Cats are awesome.
Oh, yeah. The Keyboard Cat's kind of cute, but I think you're like the effort that you've gone to. We all need to give you a big round of applause because you look adorbs.
Thank you. My husband was like, that wig can stay, but what the actual hell is wrong with you?
You look so cool.
Thanks.
You look so cool. I love you. Thank you for going to so much effort.
I love...
David,
it's
the link's in the StreamYard folder. Oh my God. All right, fine. I'll send you the link.
You just can't find good help anymore.
No.
I tell my parents this all the time. I fired all the maids.
Hang on, man. Hang on. You can't see it. Where's the link? All right, just a minute. Hey, Nikki. All right.
And don't forget to go to live chat because YouTube assumes that we just never want to see everything.
All right, David's on his way. David's on his way. We can't start this. Everyone just needs to wait because the king is on his way. He's in the treehouse or somewhere. We might be at work. I don't know.
The making law simple media machine must go on.
It must go on.
We
He
found
is
in the
he's the
cases
king of the media machine.
for Michigan.
We are affiliates, and we just have to wait. Luckily, the court is waiting. It's waited nearly 24 hours for us to do this.
Hey, people need sleep. It is what it is.
Wait a minute. There we go.
Yay! Hello. Now,
Hello.
none of us have any clue whether he's guilty. Hello.
I think
He's
we all saw
definitely
that
not guilty.
that
He's
rap
definitely not
video.
guilty.
That's a crime
No, we
against
have
humanity of some
No
sort.
idea.
I hope they show it to
Do
the
I have
jury.
any subs? Do I? Oh, okay.
I'm not
Wait,
driving and
Paul,
streaming
what
at
are you
all.
I don't see anything.
I don't know. I don't watch the numbers that closely, but I can have a look whilst we are getting this ready to go. Welcome, David. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated.
problem.
Look how hot our lovely Mo looks. That's not a band-aid on her
Nice.
boob.
Well,
Oh, it looks like one. If it's not on her costume, she needs to add that to it going forward.
you know,
She does.
all of my band-aids have like butterflies on them. So it'll be less 50 Cent, more bluey.
It's a different number than last time you were here.
Are you like
No, I
Laura Rose and you just have a wall of wigs?
Yes, I do. And I want more. Look, I have a lot of characters in my head. Maybe I do need to talk to Dr. Beverly Lewis.
She has a wall like the guy in Silence of the Lambs that does that sews people's suits.
Look, I haven't started sizing people up to make suits yet.
Okay.
Yet.
Yes.
My sewing
Were you-
skills aren't that great. I need to study I need to apprentice under a tailor.
Were you a great big fat person? Or was she a great big fat person?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
God,
Now,
I love that
we are
movie.
all absolutely, completely
Well, I'm
silenced.
completely unaware.
No
because
idea.
I
And
had no idea that there was a verdict.
I think the jury's going to be hung.
You think that what?
They're going to be hung.
Yeah,
Huh?
we have no clue. We have no clue.
You know, I have been
know.
looking at some of these jurors, and I'm telling you what, I hope some of them are hung, because I'm going to get some digits later.
So did you?
Well, their feet are nice.
They're hung as much as Salvador is.
Thank you. That was sweet of you.
Well, I hope for Bryce's sake, considering his new makeup, that his new look, that he's getting out.
Oh, he's like me. He likes character work. Aww.
Check him out. He's looking hot, hot, hot.
I certainly hope that continues. If there is a guilty verdict, we will be back another day. Please do not behave in a way that makes me say you cannot come back another day. That goes for everybody. But like I said, everybody has been really respectful. I appreciate it.
Oh,
And
okay.
that should continue. as
laying the law
verdict
down,
is read.
Judge.
Okay, would you mind I told them I would ask somebody to signal them.
All thing she can do is lay a
Oh, did they
Tony
send
down.
up white smoke or
Ray.
gray
Thanks for being
smoke? Is
here.
there a new pope yet?
And yes, please subscribe to Mo. How's the sound,
Jesus.
everyone?
Well, only the cougher could
I
find the mic.
really enjoy the coughing right in my ear.
Yeah.
Swear to God, David, can we file a class action lawsuit? I mean, they can't find
I'm
a.
about to.
Okay, I'm glad.
Call the courtroom.
You do that.
Are we going to see the jury's feet again? Ugh.
Yeah, what is
Good
feet?
Lord,
Oh,
dude.
Wyatt, his head is so.
Mo, did any of the juror members have a third leg? That you saw?
Well, they were behind a box and I couldn't see, but my
Well, they walk in every day.
Yeah, you
Someone
look,
drag you
my
in.
dong dar is pretty good, so I'm pretty sure I've got a couple cold out that may be hung. I've been studying body language.
Does the
and
defendant look
instincts.
nervous?
All right, everybody may be seated.
Don't fail me now.
Ugh.
Right into
Who was
the
the fourth
mic.
person?
Okay,
Thank you. Has the jury been able to reach a verdict in this case? All right, if you could please hand the form to Deputy Mills.
how did Colonel Sanders get in there?
He was really good, though. With his place.
Well, he brought the judge lunch.
Okay, so you have Old Man River and Deputy.
What? Strange.
What's he
Really?
All right,
I
the
need
court
to
will now
find a
read the
clip of
verdict.
that.
Verdict Form 1A, murder as to Christopher Jones. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of murder. Having found the defendant guilty of
No.
murder, we found that the murder was intentional.
Hang on a
No.
minute. I need to just who witnessed
what?
this? I need to find this clip.
Wait, what's happening now?
Hang on.
Apparently, Jeff got snippy.
I can't hear you, DALI. No, even with that not on.
Yeah, are you on
Can
your
you hear me
mic or
now?
on your? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is your mic turned down or are you just nowhere near it?
Both.
I'm gonna edit your mic
give-
settings. I'm gonna
I
bring you
give
up.
you no audio help or.
Yeah. Can you talk again, please?
No.
Yeah, you're really low.
How am I
Can
now?
you guys hear me? Am I loud?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
It's
kind
a
of.
little better.
Hold on.
Can we
It's a
turn
bit
him
better.
like 30% lower?
Yeah. You got a new mic, don't you,
Who?
DALI? You have a new mic,
I'm
don't
just-
you?
I'm just teasing him. He's fine. He sounds fine on my end.
Could you put it closer to your face?
Don't clip this. Phrasing.
I can hear everyone except DALI,
Okay.
basically. Yeah,
I
put
am
it like
12 and a
that.
half.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
better.
now you're.
Thank you.
He sounds like
Yeah.
a man. It's a trick mic.
Right.
As
Yeah,
opposed
don't
to
feel
what?
bad, Stray. Don't feel bad, Stray.
As opposed to.
Yeah, look, Jeff should be fine. Look, he's got 600 people in his chat regularly. He can spare like 20. It's okay. It's no big deal.
Hopefully,
big
Mother
deal.
Bear
He'll
will
be
get me a
fine.
new mic for Christmas, so we'll see.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
it doesn't work. Go back to your old one.
This is my old one.
That's your old one.
Yes.
Maybe he
All
needs
right,
to
I'm
get
gonna
up on it closer.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to turn you up even more.
I'm sorry. I should not be laughing at this. I am not laughing
right.
at you. I'm
Anyway,
laughing
let's
with
keep
Why are
you.
we
How is this
staring
now?
at the back of this defendant's
It's a
head?
bit better. But I'm
I
really
don't
straining
know,
to
but
you.
it's all. It looks like it has advanced scabies, and I can't.
Was- Yeah, I know. It's disgusting. I'm looking away. Is it?
Can we have a hat?
Yeah.
Has he been found guilty yet? Yeah. Can we put a hat on him?
I
Real
feel
life.
like he should have to wear a like top hat or something, maybe a fedora.
I'm not
I feel like
muted, Matt.
this is his last like FU to the world as he goes away. It's like
Yeah,
stare at the
okay.
back of my gross head.
Like
Yeah,
now Sal is aware and he can do like sexy things to the mic. Let's keep watching.
Verdict Form 2A, murder as to Maurice Gordon. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of murder. Having found the defendant guilty of murder, we found that the murder was intentional.
Intentional.
Verdict Form 3A, murder as to Larry Ordway. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of murder. Having found the defendant guilty of murder, we found that the murder was intentional. Verdict Form 4, tampering with physical evidence. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty.
Intentional.
Verdict Form 5, abuse of a corpse as to Maurice Gordon. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty.
Not
Verdict Form
intentional.
6, abuse of a corpse as to Larry Ordway. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty. I'm now going to ask each of you about just kind of pointing, beginning with the back row and going down and then the front row. Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Wow, I've never been told in this whole trial to turn it
Council, can
down.
you all approach?
Sure, Fed, no worries.
Hey, excited! I found your link.
That's great.
Just thought I'd let you know I found it.
Yeah.
Is this different?
He doesn't look terribly shocked, does he? I mean,
What?
oh, by the way,
Is my mic still low?
It sounds a lot
I can
better.
kind of hear you a bit better now. Mads, I've had everything on 1200 boost the entire time because the court's been so low the entire time.
Well, then they had a
Suddenly
coffer, so
today
they
it
turned
works.
it up.
Thank you, Daniel. Well, I don't know. All my mic settings on my end are boogered up, so like I have an echo in my headphones from me. So I don't know how it sounds going out to StreamYard.
Sounds pretty good
Sounds fine
here.
on mine end.
Okay.
It sounds a lot better than what it was.
Okay. I tried a new USB port
It
and
does sound better
unplugged
than
it.
it is, but I
I'm
also
going to say
turned
is everyone
So-
on the road is conspiring against me getting into my treehouse.
I feel it. David, surrender to the Mondayest Tuesday ever. Everything is going to take 800 times longer than it's supposed
All right,
to
so I
take.
just kind of want
Just
to give you
surrender.
a sort of an idea of what will happen from here. First of all, thank you for your consideration of these.
He doesn't look
matters.
sad enough.
In Kentucky, jurors also handle
That
sentencing.
beard does.
And so what we
though.
will do next is called the penalty phase of the trial, but we're certainly not going to do that tonight. We have some witnesses who cannot be here until Wednesday, but we also don't want to slow this down too much. As you can tell, we're on track to finish before Christmas, which is good, before the holidays kick in. So what I'm going to have you do is come back tomorrow at 1
Agreed, pudding.
p.m. See if we can knock out some of the evidence that we need to get entered. And then Wednesday, I expect will be the day that we conclude. Okay. Now, I don't think you will be here too late
The
Wednesday,
judge is lying
but
to us.
there is a chance you could be here
Yeah.
after 5. Tomorrow, you'll probably
Well, they
be
were
done
there
by
till midnight yesterday, weren't they?
All right, so
Was
be
it
back
that late?
outside the courtroom
All I
at
know is I
1
was
p.m.
sleeping. I didn't even know there was a
tomorrow.
verdict.
And in the
I was
meantime,
sleeping.
the admonition remains
I know.
in
It
effect.
kept
It was
like
the middle of the
being
damn
me.
day here.
Research, you cannot post about this case. You cannot discuss it with
I'm
anyone.
going to say midnight here.
including
You're
each
not
other
sleeping.
when you're not in the deliberation room. So tomorrow morning, I will again ask if there's anything.
It's
anybody
tomorrow
needs.
last summer.
Tomorrow afternoon at 1. Thank you. Tomorrow
But did-
afternoon at 1 p.m.
They should pull the jury.
And I believe we'll have somebody walk
They
you around
did.
as well.
No.
She
It's a
just kinda
school
said-
bus.
Point. I'm going to point.
Now, apparently, he does some sort of gesture to somebody now.
Oh, he's probably trying to take off the mom because he's been able to trigger the mom before.
She's not there.
No, pan back up
Oh.
to him. We don't want to see the guard's
Ooh.
ass.
No, those
Oh,
are the
feet.
jury's feet. Wow.
Oh, I mean, no, we've been
Is
watching the
anyone
feed.
dragging something?
Okay.
Let's see
There's
them little
one that-
piggies.
Dongdar? Nope.
I think that's a woman.
Nope.
That's a woman.
No dong.
And a
Yes,
man.
So
dong.
they can
You-
still
you-
have a dong.
You would
He's a
hope
running
that's a
doctor.
woman.
He's got his
Yeah, but
scrubs on
short-
with his running shoes.
That's small feet for a guy. I don't want a guy
Are
with
those
small
blue
feet. You
jeans?
know what they say? Small feet.
All right. If everybody
What is
Only
size
people
13 and a half?
.com.
13 and a half wide.
Did we count how many men versus women?
And then
No,
I'm gonna
I
have
was
everyone
I was
stay in the courtroom
making
for about
fun.
5 minutes.
Well, that sheriff that, has a slight bald patch starting, he's probably hung. It's not his fault. But it probably
He looks
decreases in size every
mad.
time he has to look at that nasty
Now,
ass
Mr.
head.
Rhodes, you can
I
stay
mean,
here, go
nasty
back,
head.
whatever you do. I just wanted to
I said his head made him guilty.
Everybody else. We'll see you tomorrow.
And the tattoos don't
Okay,
help.
hang on. Wait. Here we go. Hey. There we
Ooh,
go.
back that up. I was turning.
Oh, can you backionate it a little bit to see the
Yeah, sure,
he
sure.
was
Back it up, like-
turning
15 seconds.
Okay, hang on a minute. How do I do this?
You
I go
back it
like
up
this,
before
right?
my next turn. That would be great.
Jay.
Jay. There we go. Hey. We're-
I just wanted
wait,
to-
was that his
They're
mom?
Nodding at his
maybe?
boys. He's
Probably
nodding
his
at his
family.
boys.
Boys.
Tomorrow.
Oh, well,
I'm
it's
ready.
nice
There we
that
go.
his little
Hey.
gang friends came in to
Aw.
watch him. His little rap friends.
I wish my friends would come to my trial.
You guys
It's like
want to know
The
some
Sandlot.
irresponsible speculation without any authority whatsoever? He was nodding to his boys for the next hit.
Ooh,
His head is so gross.
But who is the next alleged hit?
kid.
All right. So now what we do is we have a look over on the other one. Just a second. Oh, we just make sure nothing else is happening here. I don't think so.
The tailored suit is a choice.
On her, it's quite
Yeah.
masculine. Yes, I know.
Yeah, she's Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
I didn't watch that, but she's Phantasma from
Yeah.
or whatever her name was from the terrible Star Wars.
Mm.
The terrible Star Wars. Okay, so if I change to this tab, and
Why
also,
must I
by the
always
way,
focus on
the
this
law
tab?
and crime chat is on fire today. They are
Oh, Lord.
on
Body
fire.
language watch.
Are they upset that he got found guilty, or are they ready
No,
to
oh
start his
God,
pitch
no.
fire?
They are pitchforks and brimstone
Aw.
today.
He's not into
Well,
jungle.
if he's not executed, then it's not worth it, kind of thing.
No, they
Oh,
can't.
pretty
They
much.
didn't give him the DP because he's too stupid.
That's right. It's too stupid for the DP. Hello, Bella.
He has a 70 IQ.
And hello, David Nelson.
In many ways, very similar to
You know,
the
that
phase where you
does
decide guilty or not
explain the
guilty.
rap video.
Each side will have an opportunity to make
his
an
IQ
opening
is like
statement
70.
if they wish to do so. They
He's
may
like,
present
everyone wants to see me
evidence,
with
and
my
then they
shirt
make
off.
closing arguments as well if they wish to do so. Then, just like before, you will be given instructions by the court as
So
to
I
the
thought it might be a
sentencing,
little bit more
and
fun
then
to
you
watch
will
some of this
retire
with the
to
chat up.
deliberate. Is the Commonwealth ready? Would you like to make an opening statement? Go ahead.
Okay, so
Oh,
Chicky Babe here makes an opening statement, and I swear I can't hear a goddamn word she says, but she only talks for about
Okay.
2 minutes.
Do
Veal.
no lawyer females own a brush? I mean, I'm not
No, they
a
don't.
lawyer female.
Okay,
I have 6
So now what?
children, but I can get a brush.
you'll find out, Nikki. We're after this woman speaks, the defense does an opening statement, and he explains it quite well.
Will also present evidence of the defendant's prior convictions.
And I might boost her up because I don't know if that's going to help.
Sentences that you can impose, and just a little bit about the parole and
Is someone here?
incarceration system in Kentucky, so that
No.
you have more information.
Oh, it's David in the treehouse.
when you
Oh.
decide upon
Hello.
your sentences.
Hello.
Now, go back
he got
to
home.
right, you
Cool.
are allowed to consider all the evidence you have already heard up to this point.
Hey, Lockham.
Of the crimes.
Who was
presented
Danny on
during
direct? Oh, you.
last week's testimony,
Oh.
in addition to the new evidence that
Because
you
you're
will be
blonde.
today.
Oh, he thought Mo was Danny on direct.
Oh,
Yeah.
Especially she's
For the
blonde.
defense?
she does have some
That was
Danny
quick.
hair.
She does. Okay, so
I
this dude's
sound better
actually
now?
going to say something decent. Yes, you do sound good. Much
Is he
better.
going to tell us his 8 spices? I just want to know.
It's 11.
You're doing it right.
Whatever. I figured you'd keep a couple back, but I could guess the first couple.
I got to make this big and I wanna see the
Invigorated.
chat.
Yeah.
So yesterday,
body language watch.
it was like a long time ago to me actually, but I know.
You got to turn into live chat.
Yesterday,
He
Oh,
is
yeah.
defeated.
we talked
Look at
about
those slump
whether or not the
shoulders.
Commonwealth had met its burden.
Just don't kill
And-
my man.
That was the last time we talked.
Well, that's
before
not-
it went out.
Oh, hang on. It's not live because this.
And I want
No,
to
just
go
scroll
back
all the way down.
I appreciate
Hit the
fact
blue arrow.
that
All the way down to what?
The bottom.
time
There you go.
talked about it.
Now it should pop up.
together, Went through the instructions, thought
Should it?
about it, and I
Yeah.
understand that you reached your conclusion. That's your job. You did your job.
Because you did this, you now have to
there's
waste
just
more
a few
time.
More days.
It
That-
should
that
scroll
sounds
like
even
normal.
Worse than it is tomorrow. We'll finish
No,
tomorrow.
because I've gone back in time, right?
Stray, I'm sending you a
Tired of it.
message
I'm not
on
gonna
Discord.
talk at great length. I know I talked for a little while yesterday. Thought I had a lot more to say. But the result of your deliberations today are not and should not be a 4 foregone conclusion. You may have, when you were
Yeah,
back
I will
sir.
come back to.
said,
We'll come back to
we
this.
want to find him guilty, and we already know what we think the penalty should be. You're a human
Can we
being.
hear him okay?
Right? You may have reached that conclusion.
It's a little
I
low.
understand that.
It's a
That's
little
okay.
low, but I can
But
hear
the
him
court
better
just told
than
you
her.
I can hear him enough to just comment over top of him because I really don't care what he's saying. Is that
Closed
is that good?
caption?
Does it have closed caption or
There's also
No, because
evidence
This is
it's
live.
live. Like it,
it's
I'm
live?
just backwards in the live.
Try it.
evidence that we
Ah.
think you need to hear
Ooh,
Have
hey,
you
Crime
tried it?
Spies.
about Brice.
Try what?
About Brice.
The closed caption button.
No,
Sometimes it
it's
works.
not. Look, it's a live feed. Look,
Sometimes it works. Okay.
it's not on.
We,
Sometimes it
all of
works.
us, everybody, we're
Woman.
not simply the worst thing that we have ever done. You have reached the conclusion.
Hey, Crime Spies.
that Brice
I see that Baker's been promoting
committed
you.
that crime.
That's
that
nice
the
of him.
Commonwealth proved that beyond a reasonable doubt, and I accept that.
Crime Spies is cool. Now that she got her mic worked out.
That doesn't change
So
Oh yeah.
Brice.
is he trying to say that Brice has inherent
I'm gonna
worth
ask
as
you to
like a
keep
person?
An open mind and listen.
Yep. Stood out.
Decide. Because literally what you decide today and tomorrow determines.
Yeah, I know Crime Spies. She's been in our chat lots of times.
I've spent an awful lot of time getting to know, trying to get to know Brice, not just him, his family, his life, his history, everything about him. That's one of the things that in a case.
We
this
really
serious,
bonded when he did not spit on me
that
like his last
we
lawyer.
do. Know more about Brice than Brice.
Well, he's got a 70 IQ, so it's not hard,
Open
sir.
up my brain and pour it out and just tell all of you, but I can't, and I won't.
Thank you
Because
so
what
much.
you need to do is hear from witness stand. But there are.
He
some
seems like
things
he
I
actually
can't do.
cares.
I mean, he does seem very honest and sincere.
No matter what conclusion you have
Oh,
reached,
Crime Spies, you're so sweet.
Brice, as a person, because of these charges, Brice is a human being. And more importantly,
Have you
Brice
seen
is
his head? That's a lizard
person.
man suit.
who's had a life that got him to this point.
If he has Voldemort back there, he's got two humans.
Some of the evidence you hear from this
Quirrell.
witness stand
Yeah.
talk about what his life has been like to this point.
Hi, Jung.
You'll hear that as
Young.
a child, Brice's life was different than a lot of kids.
Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
half Irish.
There's things we take for granted. Right? Many people have.
That's why you don't like your clients half
Wait,
Irish.
can you pause it
Brice is
real
one of
quick?
the people
Yeah, sure.
I like
who's
doing
had-
good for my clients because I want to be a good lawyer.
Okay.
But so I will tell you this. So early on in my career, I was maybe practicing a year, and I had a felony DUI case, which
Mhm.
means this guy was going to go to prison for a while if he got convicted. And I got like emotionally wrapped up in it, and I really wanted to win, and I liked the guy and all this stuff. And then when he eventually got convicted and went to prison, I felt really bad, and I realized that you can't do that as an attorney. You got to rise above it. You can be nice to your clients and you can care about winning for your clients, but you can't like your clients, right? Because then it's just you can't do your job. And then what good are you?
Now,
Yeah.
like you look at like Natalie Wisco and Corey Schroffesy, like they seem to really bond with Rittenhouse. It felt like it was really emotional for them.
Yeah, but and I'm not going to speak for Natalie Wisco, and I've never
Sure.
asked her, but I guarantee she doesn't talk to him. She doesn't think about him every day. It was a job. She was happy for the win. She
Yeah.
felt like he was a kid that didn't deserve this, and they move on. I've had cases too where I've gotten, I had a charge dismissed on a BS charge, and I kind of like my guy, but I'm just, if he went away for it, okay, it is what it is. You just can't get that emotionally wrapped up in it, because then you're no better than your client. The reason why they say attorneys that represent themselves have fools for clients is because they're too close to the case. They're too emotionally wrapped up in it. It's against them. You want someone who can rise above the bullshit and the drama and the emotion of it and look at it for what it is. And so if you get too close to your client, you're not going to be any better than just your client representing himself.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, so you'll all be sounding like Nick this morning with the hairdresser. Okay. And yes,
I heard him.
I did not hear him. I've been asleep. This is my first night of actual sleep during the nighttime for a long time. And you're absolutely right, One Blessed Nana. We should be listening to this, and that's why we paused it. So we can have a chat.
I'm sorry.
No. You're right. And that's why we paused it, so we could have a chat.
Yeah.
But also, I think they probably picked the right person. He's very sympathetic. I mean, he looks defeated. You feel bad for him. You feel like he's Jake Soywalker in The Last Jedi, and he's just drank some blue alien breast milk. You just feel bad for the guy.
And Sue, you don't want an asshole for a lawyer unless it's going to benefit you, right? If this guy was an asshole right now, nobody would care. He would just be like his client. You want, if the jury can't sympathize for your client, then have them have some sympathy for you as the attorney. Is better than nothing. So,
yeah. All right. And Crime Spies, you seem to be extremely excited to see what we're going to think about this for some reason.
I think she just watched it.
Oh,
It's only from like 2 hours ago. So yeah, cool. All right, sweet, lovely. And I know you've been following this case. You've been streaming it, so you know a lot about this. So I take your word for it, love.
Tough life. And he also had obstacles that luckily most of us do not have.
Being a product of fetal alcohol syndrome isn't my fault. That's your mom's fault. I'm a terrible person. I'm going straight to hell.
When I was growing up, we used the word retarded.
it was good enough for the Parkland shooter.
Did he just say when I was growing up we used the word retarded?
Be harmful to Brice. I'm saying that.
Can we inaugurate this?
Wait.
And that was his words,
Your
YouTube.
expert
I would just
testimony.
like to say,
Sorry, what did he just say?
Not have.
I believe he just called his client special needs. He rode the short
And he
bus.
also had obstacles that luckily most of us do not have. We'll hear that Brice suffers from an intellectual disability. That's the current term that people use now. When I was growing up, we used the word retarded.
He's retarded.
We use the
He's a
word
retard.
Harmful to Brice. I'm saying that.
You just called this client a retard.
You'll hear expert
This is
testimony.
My
the best
client
thing
is
I've
a
ever
retard.
heard.
You can't send him away.
Just play his rap video.
Also-
He's too dumb to understand. Oh my god. I'm sorry, this is terrible. What? Colonel Sanders, you can't say that anymore. Oh my god. Didn't your masculine presenting, side lawyer explain the PC to this?
Okay,
Did you not practice
the
this?
only thing that would have been better is if he called him a window licker.
Maybe that's next.
He's gonna be like, look, he's really, really dumb. Like, dumb.
In my day, we called them a retard.
Oh my gosh, is he gonna devolve
In my day, we
into?
call him a window licker. Should I just go with that one?
Is he gonna devolve into Major Payne, where he's like, if you don't get that dog up, I'm gonna
Now we've heard Trump's defense. Yeah.
Didn't you have a 20-year-old intern who can tell him, dude, what the?
That's what I'm saying. The masculine presenting person next to him, because I'm not going to assume their gender, should have, explained to him that this is like Peter Griffin gives look, Your Honor, he's ridiculous, okay? Look,
It's one of my favorite shows.
I can't do a Boston accent, but oh my God.
Your Honor,
That's classic.
my client is a retard.
They used to call them idiots, and then they called them morons, then they called them half-wits.
Crime Spies is saying, just wait. She's like that.
God.
I I love watching a movie with nobody with someone who hasn't seen it yet. I'm like, oh, you're gonna like this part. It's
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I
okay,
do that
okay.
to Mr. Mo all the time. I'm such a terrible
All right.
person.
This is
All
amazing.
right. Quiet down.
Okay,
Let's go.
sorry.
That disability. Because these things aren't abstract. They're not just out there. It's not just the existence of something.
He's not a
It's how it
figurative
affects
art
them.
tart.
And not
He's a
merely
literal
how it
art
affects
tart.
them in the moment, but how it affects them year after year after year.
But it's what you make when your lawyer calls you a
He
retard.
suffered
years,
his stupidity
Brice.
for years.
When other kids were doing well, was doing poorly. That Brice would say over and over, I don't understand, I just don't understand. People can have, things can affect people differently.
Did he
But in
have lead
this
paint?
case, based on the verdict you have reached, I will tell you there is no small sentence. I'm not going to get up here and ask you for a small sentence because that's not even possible. It's not even possible. The smallest sentence, and the judge will instruct you, is 20 years in prison for each count 1, count 2, count 3. That's the smallest amount.
Is it consecutive or concurrent?
So there's
I
not
think
gonna
that's what
be
they're
not me,
arguing
not somebody
right
else from my
now.
team. No one's gonna get up here and say that we're now asking you to let Brice out the door, or anything like that, because that wouldn't even be in your power. But I am gonna ask you to keep an open mind and think about the things in his life that have actually affected him and got him to this room and that chair today.
Like the lead paint in his house growing
Was
up.
he
You're
like
gonna
next
hear
to
about
Chernobyl when it
Brice
went
Rhodes.
off? For the love of God.
Several brothers, several sisters. I'm not gonna try and go through all of them today because frankly, it would also be names that are difficult to remember and I'm not trying to be confusing. But you will hear about one of his brothers. And this brother in particular, I think is important. I think
It's okay.
worth
Blessed
pointing
Nana.
out
The
because
chat's
he
better than the
also
panel. Always.
Brice and his brother both had difficulties, but there's a big difference between the two.
Oh yeah. Look.
One brother got help, got extra attention, got extra counseling,
Aw.
got extra
Aw.
time,
He was neglected
Was
when
evaluated,
brother.
and had parents
He wasn't as
follow
retarded.
through with the evaluation. My brother now is a professor teaching in a college.
His words, he too, not mine.
I don't know that that makes him any more
Brice.
mentally competent here now.
Didn't get any of that.
No.
I wish he had.
Teaching what?
I'll go so far as to say, if he had, I do not think any of us would be in this room. But he didn't. He didn't get the help. Instead of getting the help, there was a custody battle. And the custody battle revolved around control of him and his schooling.
What?
And it got bad enough so that he was taken away from the same parents who followed the recommendations and helped the one brother. But instead, Brice got none of that support. He got none of those resources. He didn't get better. You'll also hear that as part of that, at times he was in a household with physical punishment. That he suffered some significant trauma because of that. You'll hear that from an expert on this witness stand who will walk you through the effect of trauma. And the effect of trauma is different.
Hey, I talk
for
with my
different people.
hands. I feel like I can't ding this man. It's the
I
okay
like to
signal
think-
that's going to get him in real
I'm
trouble,
pretty
though.
much looking.
Yeah, was he
But the
illegitimate or
problem
something?
is,
Why did they hate him
if
so
someone is
much?
already
Mom
suffering
Dukes,
from
we
an
need
intellectual
some answers.
disability, they don't have that resilience. When trauma hits them, they don't have the skills and the resources to deal with it themselves. Not the same way that one of us might be able to do. It's when you have a kid
No, you
who suffers the trauma because of
It's
his
so
intellectual
sad.
disability, he can't fix himself. The only thing that can fix
he
him
can't
is if he
control
has people
himself. He's
who love him
special.
and care for him and go the extra mile. And you're going to hear that unfortunately that didn't happen. I'm not
Okay.
trying to say
Here-
that the people in Brice's
The problem
life
with this is that I've worked with
terrible
developmental
parents, any of
disability
that.
adults. They've never
I have
unalived people
3 kids.
or made
Do you know what
terrible
they
bad
called him
videos.
when
This work
he was younger?
all the time. But I am going to say that they dropped
There's a
the ball.
couple words, but they're all
Dropping the ball in
Hang
this
on, I'll be right
case. Dropping the ball with Brice, with all the deficits and all the problems and the trauma that he was experiencing, had real lasting effects. Does that excuse everything that you've heard about? No, I'm not saying it does. I'm saying it's relevant and important in deciding who Brice is. And that you are allowed, and the judge will read you instructions and say the law allows you to consider those things as well when you decide on a fair punishment. You are allowed, as the Commonwealth said, to consider all the evidence from the first phase. And I think if we told you you weren't allowed to consider it, you would anyway. You're allowed to consider the punishment that was meted out. Carter. Jail. Carter was in prison for 3 years. Taylor was in prison for 6.5.
Huh?
You're allowed to consider that punishment as well. It's up to you how
Okay,
much
can you
that
pause
matters.
it, Hella? Because
Yeah, sure.
I need to
The last thing
a
I want to tell
whiteboard this. So
Yes.
his parents were in and out of jail, but somehow they managed to take his mentally subnormal brother and turn him into a college professor.
Yeah.
But Brice, they were like, "Screw you, kid. Sit in the
Screw
corner."
you. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Todd.
what is this story? Also, I need to know what he's a professor of because I have questions.
I missed the professor bit. Is he really a professor, or did you just say that?
Well, so he said that there were two brothers and both of them had deficiencies. Now, he didn't go so far as to call the brother an R, but he did.
No.
Oh God, he's a professor of political science. Well, then
Wow.
he is still R. Never mind. That's me thinking
Where is he?
that
He should be here for the defense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
he's like, look, they he was Tommy Boy. They fed him lead paint. It wasn't really his fault. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Oh God.
Excited. How long are you streaming?
I don't know. You can pop off whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, sorry. My son showed up last minute. He's got a band thing today, and he's like, "Oh, we got to get these things planed down." It's like, well, when do you need them? Well, in like 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop
Never
up.
any pressure.
I'll be back.
Okay,
Oh, you'll be
great.
back. will you?
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
sweet.
Well, if you're still streaming, because I'm just gonna
Yeah.
run down to the shop and take care of some stuff, and I'll
No
be
worries.
back.
Cool.
All right.
If you're still
Godspeed.
here, then sure. Sweet.
I'll just do this.
There you go.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Political science professor. His brother has a PhD. They have not said, but I think the brother has a different mum. Yeah.
And one
okay,
less
so
chromosome.
Yeah. There is.
Okay,
There
and
is a
I know I
stepmom.
made a
She was
joke
there.
about it, but
Mm.
if the parents were as unstable as it sounds, he could have actually been exposed to a lot of stuff in utero and could actually have fetal alcohol syndrome, which would mean that
It would kind of
he
explain
has
his look.
well, and he would have again, not a scienceologist or anything, but the frontal cortex, that part of you that says, hey, you can think it, but you can't do it. That part of his brain would not be fully developed from what I've understood. But I was having a hard time figuring out how he got like a professor brother and then like he was in a corner somewhere. I was just wondering if it was the family scapegoat, because it does happen. There is that, I know I talk with my hands. There is that legitimate, thing that happens where a family will pick out one person and make them a scapegoat, usually a child for child abuse. Like you'll have all of the kids look fine except for one. So...
I don't
but
know.
I was just...
I know, as some people in chat have been saying, like, there is a stepmom and he may not be a full brother. So...
But here's my big hole in this whole argument. Like I said, I worked with people with developmental issues, high functioning, low functioning. They still all understood to a certain extent, as much as they could, that their actions have consequences.
Correct. It's pretty hard to find somebody who has no clue of their right or wrong. Well, it's not that hard, but there are people. However, he's been deemed competent. This is not a not guilty by reason of insanity trial.
No, because he knew his actions were wrong because he tried to cover it up.
Well, and he was street savvy enough to have a group of boys following him like Peter Pan. So I think his mental...
Mens rea.
Mental acuity issues seem more apparent when it's necessary, if that's...
Yes. And quite frankly, it seemed like he kind of didn't really cooperate with the test. IQ test.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, he's not smart, but I don't know if I'd buy 70 IQ.
I don't put much store in these IQ tests, really, to be honest. I think there's much more to a person than an IQ test. But yeah, Hafaris, you do have a point. It's either stepbrother or full brother, but dad and mum raised a professor brother full time. Okay, so what happened to him? Like, did he go off with the other mother? Maybe.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Yes, Christine, we know he's guilty. He's all the guilties.
Yes.
He's every single one of the guilties.
He's absolutely guilty. Okay, let's keep going. This lawyer is what legal biases will look like in 15 years.
Oh, no, he will not look like Colonel Sanders.
That would naturally occur to you.
Besides, I don't think Jeff would be this expressive.
He might not be expressive. He just needs a hat.
Based on what you do in this courtroom,
he
what
took
happens
mime
next? Where does
lessons.
Brice go? Some of that evidence will be presented to you. We'll answer as many of those questions as we can. One thing you'll also hear from the experts on the stand is that even though Brice is damaged, there is still hope.
What was your first
Hope
sense?
could be redeemed.
He's on the clearance rack, but
Medicine,
it's an acid sale.
therapy, and treatment. He is someone who could, after
Have a
serving
successful rap career
whatever
one day.
long sentence you give him, that could have a future.
I doubt it.
Only
Okay,
Brice
like Son of
can
Sam?
atone.
Have a future.
Hey, look at the guy who pew-pewed Reagan. He's out of the
That's
mental
true.
hospital and formed a band and
Yeah, but
doing
he was
shows.
not by reason of insanity, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to seduce Jodie Foster,
Yeah.
as we all do.
Yeah, and he's out of the mental institution and he's got like a band and plays guitar and goes out and does shows.
Sir, you can come right up here, please. Just watch your step there. Could you please raise your right hand for me? You sort of tell the truth and the whole truth. Thank you. Now let's see.
Jesus.
God, what's that sound?
Oh, Lord. Okay, seriously,
Good
Old
afternoon,
Man
sir.
River needs to retire.
Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Sean Mott Jones.
I'm Morgan Freeman.
Christopher Renard Jones.
Could you tell the jury how this crime has affected your family?
Mad's pretty much zero.
Family a whole lot. You know,
Mads, what did Mads say?
brother,
Can you
How
please
much
bring
would
up chats
Deanie-
if you're going to?
Oh,
you know,
fine.
Thank you.
they don't
It
have their
depends
phone.
on
You're my
what
co-host for a
the
reason.
inmate. It depends on what the
Really?
inmate puts into it. I mean, there are
Impact-
programs,
impact me
but
more because I'm
Yeah.
proud as an uncle to them. You know,
Hang on, I
to
might
take
just
care
go
of
back a
them
bit
the way they father would
because I
take care of
can
them.
now.
okay. So, who is
No,
this
this is-
gentleman to whom?
That's why I want to know. Hang on.
One of
Could
the
you-
brothers.
could you-
And this is the penalty phase, half Irish.
Oh,
Oh, great job. Wanted to hear that again.
shut up.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Sean Mott Jones. I am the older brother of Christopher Renard Jones.
Could you tell the jury how this crime has affected your family?
Oh, maybe older brother of the 40-year-old that was DP'd.
A whole lot. You know, brother, he has two sons that, you know, in high school, and they don't have their father. And really, it impact me more because
Yeah, that's what
I felt as
I'm
though
saying.
A shooting to his older brother. Okay.
can take care of them the way their father would take care of them.
Thank you,
Right.
Crown Spice.
Look at you.
Dropping the facts.
He's 40.
No, the victim was. This is his older brother,
Oh, okay.
How are his sons doing?
Black Santa Claus.
Good. One's at Manu playing football, one's at Shawnee playing football. It's Christopher Nora Jones Jr. and Baron Martin.
We heard earlier there's a daughter.
Yes, he has a daughter. You know, he has a granddaughter. They have never meet him. So yeah, it impacted. Very
He
hard.
stays.
Hey, Stace.
I was just about to pull that up.
Is there anything else you would like the jury to know?
He was a good man, you know. He didn't deserve that.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you.
My brother was a good man. He didn't deserve for his life to be taken. You know, for him to grow with his sons and his daughter and try to get to know or even get to know his granddaughter. He'll never have that.
How old is the granddaughter?
She is probably 3, maybe.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions. Hold on, the defense might.
Any questions?
Sorry, we lost any questions.
You're free to go, sir. Thank you.
No.
There was no way the defense could say anything that was going to help them. I'm going to quickly. I'll be right
Sure.
back.
Thanks, John. Tom would like to call their next witness.
I mean, they're going to get to talk at some point, the defense, surely.
Yeah, they'll get their turn after the state.
Yeah, that might be tomorrow, though.
Hello again, Miss Ron. Just
I'm not
need to swear
sure.
you again, please. You swear to tell the truth and the whole truth. Thank you, madam.
First victim was
Could you
mistake
reintroduce
by
yourself to the
identity.
jury?
My name is Deborah Wren.
Yeah, everyone makes mistakes, don't they?
And
Yeah,
Ms.
happens to
Ryan,
the best
how
of
has
us.
this crime affected your family?
This is sad.
Mm.
I saw this.
I tell you, this is nothing is the same. Nothing. We just can't get over it. We cannot. We don't know how to deal with it.
Oh, it's okay, Sarah.
7 years and 7 months.
No, it's
And
all
all
right.
the things we used to do. Go to the boys' ball games. parties, Christmas, everything. It's just not the same without them.
I need to make inappropriate jokes so I don't actually
They really
feel
are.
sad.
Yes. Oh.
Can't we just let her hit him? I just
Where's
want her to hit
Babu?
him in his
And ma'am, can you let the jury know who
gross
of your
head.
of the boy's family has been with us through this trial?
Their
Who-
mother.
or their mother,
Yeah.
and who else?
Maybe she can like rip the Band-Aid off really hard.
Larry's grandmother. Okay.
And
Yeah, rip the Band-Aid off hard. Can I go over there and like,
Shalera and just different friends and people like that. It just it's too hard to come. Was it?
Yeah. Has your husband been here too?
Oh yeah. He he watches it every day on TV, and he can't be here because he fell and hurt his leg and fractured his knee and pulled ligaments in his knee, and he couldn't.
Oh, I
get
love
up
how
and
they
down.
removed the COVID divider.
Yes,
yeah, what happened to the
this
COVID
was the
divider?
most important
They
part
removed
for
it.
him,
But they still left up the fixture.
and all he can do is watch it on TV. And then talk to me when we get
Because some of them
home.
like have different pieces that fit together.
But we'll never be the same. Nothing is the same.
Let me at
I
him.
mean, you can still get together with your
Let me
family,
at
but you miss
him.
them because they were so loving and so much fun. And they used to help me.
Oh, scratch off that Band-Aid.
Can you pause it
They
just
were
real
used to
quick?
put the Christmas tree
Sure.
up and get ready
So-
for Christmas. And
I think the saddest thing is that regardless of any, sentence, if it was eternity, if it was Snake Island, if it was, her getting to go over and hit him, none of this is going to bring those kids back.
No.
None of it. And I try to think if it would be better to have the trial, but I could imagine it would be an immense letdown at the end of it after you had to go through all of kind of the morgue and the autopsy and all of that terrible stuff. And then at the end of it, you still have to go home and you still have to see those pictures and you still have to know.
Yeah. And you have to go home to
Brice
an empty
doesn't give
house.
two craps in a handbasket. I mean, let's be real honest here.
No.
Dude can't take
He
care
was
of his
mocking
beard.
the family.
Can't take care of his head. Snake Island has never had a greater candidate than this gentleman. He and Daryl Brooks could
Snake
get together
Island.
and you know what? I'm just saying, put them two in a cell and they'd run out of oxygen and it would be a painless carbon dioxide overdose. Just saying. This is why I'm not a judge, because I'd put them in a cell on Snake Island.
One Blessed Nana, I don't know what their social media accounts are. I'm not going to bring them up on screen, but could you please Twitter message them to me? What I might do is, if there's anything that people would find interesting, I might redact the names on them and pop them up that way, so people can see the kind of things that are like, so that the family can have a voice, but without me like sharing their Twitter handles or anything like that, so that it doesn't become like a public spectacle. What do you think about that? I think, did that sound like a nice way of doing it?
Yeah, I would just maybe go through and if you can redact a lot of the stuff, because I think
I would
that's
make
the
sure
only
that it's not
yeah
doing it. I don't want to actually show what they're so people can just go and like I trust everybody here, but my channel is also live, so yeah, I don't want to make it that they end up with lots and lots of follows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I also don't want them to end up with any nasty comments on their tweets. So, but I'm also interested to see their point of view. So I think people here would be as well.
Well, and I think you're gonna have the a-holes who are really gonna throw in the face that the kids were hanging out with Brice and were probably doing some petty stuff. And
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they get to be unalived.
No, but you're gonna have those
Yeah, I know.
a-holes. The internet is full of a-holes, and then when you call them out on it, they're gonna be like, "You're attacking me."
Yeah.
Like, well, you throw poo out, you're gonna get poo back. I don't understand.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're right. They really are just continually posting about the boys sharing pics and all that. That's nice. That's nice. And we don't really get to see much of that stuff because all we hear is about Brice. And this all becomes just about Brice, doesn't it? So it would be nice to see some more about the boys.
That would be really
That's
good.
cool.
To
Thank you
kinda
very much,
celebrate them.
my blessed Nana. Yeah, cool. That'd be lovely. Okay, cool. Let's keep watching.
But the Christmas music. You wanted to listen to Christmas
Is this on
music in
1.25?
October.
No, it's not. Do you want me to put it on 1.25?
Yeah, I don't know how long it goes.
I feel like we should watch her normal speed just to let her have her moment.
Maybe
I mean,
just
it's
her,
been
and then
all
we'll go to
about-
1.25 after
Yeah.
this. Yeah. She's not on for long.
I feel like we can't speed her up because this has been her first time to talk.
I miss them so
And
much. We all miss them so much every day. When I think about the things they could have done, and Larry and Reese, Larry really had planned on going to Texas Christian College. That's all he talked about, was going to Texas Christian College and playing football. That's all he talked about all the time. And Reese talked about his music. He loved music.
No.
But they were
He was an aspiring rapper.
fun. They were fun kids. They were. Now they're gone. 7 years and 7 months.
Thank you, ma'am. I have no further questions.
Okay.
You're free to go, ma'am, or stay as you wish.
thank you, God, for the defense not bringing them up or not questioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what could they possibly have to ask her?
Oh, close Danielle Brown.
Thank you.
Could you act like you're not smelling something terrible?
Yeah. Like,
His
don't
lips
even
are
look.
already really puffy.
They are. I didn't have to do much to them.
His face is, there's something very off about his face, and I can't figure out what it is.
The pubic
But
beard.
he has resting douche face. Even if he were the best person in the world, like say he became a priest in an alternate universe, he still has resting douche face. It's like Matt
Have you raise
Gates.
your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the truth and the whole truth? Thank
Okay,
you,
this
Miss
is
Brown.
not the mum. This is her paralegal.
Please introduce
This
yourself
is
to the jury.
paralegal.
Good afternoon.
She's
My
gonna
name
go
is
through all
Danielle
the shit
Brown,
he's ever
and
done.
I am a paralegal.
For
And we
who?
can definitely
For the
get
office.
1.25 for this.
Paralegal
What-
for
Yeah.
who?
Relative to this trial, what are your duties?
My duties are to compile the criminal history and compile the certified convictions and things like that.
To
In
wear
this
my
case, did
problem
you get certified
glasses.
copies of records for the defendant Brice Rhodes?
Yes, I did.
How do you do that?
I contacted
Why
the
does she
clerk's
look
office
like a
for both here and
Black
Indiana,
librarian in the
and I got certified and
1940s.
exemplified copies of each of the convictions.
And are there
Brice
certain
not black.
identifiers or other means that you use to make sure you're getting the convictions for the right person?
I searched by name, birth date, social security number,
Ooh.
and things like that.
What is the defendant's date of birth?
His date of
Oh, I
birth
hope
is
so.
September 8th, 1990.
So how old is he now?
He is 33.
Did you find
Hey,
prior
he's as old as me.
convictions in this case?
Yes, I
Him and Jesus, the same age,
Right.
just alike.
Oh, you know their convictions? Go figure.
They're like, no, he's slow. You don't understand. He didn't get the convictions. He can't count that high. He's got to take his shoes off.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
Starting with the earliest conviction.
Oh, she's like one of those unattractive girls in a movie that gets a makeover and all they do is change their hair and take it out of a ponytail.
January 9th, 2009.
Oh no, she's got a whiteboard of
Here we
truth.
go.
Oh,
It
God.
is 3 counts of intimidation
Like
and
about a
1
murder
count
board.
of carrying a handgun without license.
What's the matter? Come here.
Oh God, she's got handwriting like I do, ma'am. Oh, not Mo. I am the
February
keyboard
1st,
woman who
2010.
was keyboarding all the time for no reason.
4
And I get
4
to wear a
years
wig,
fixed term
so,
of
you know.
imprisonment at the IDOC. Correct.
I think she would be really cute if she like let her hair down and took off her glasses.
Clark County,
Didn't
Indiana.
wear
And
the
got-
shirt my mom wore in 1984.
Yeah, why is she dressed
What the
like
hell
Ruth
is the
Bader
80s?
Ginsburg?
In
April
Murphy
24th,
Brown.
2009.
Well, that's her boss. She has to behave.
4 counts of armed robbery, and 1 count of criminal confinement.
Oh, so he was kidnapping people.
She's
Awesome.
just a if she was a U.S. senator, then she could have all kinds of hinky in the Senate. But no, she's in a
February 1st,
professional
2010.
environment.
Sal, I'm just saying, get her digits.
Correct.
You wouldn't have to change her. She's on the right side of the law.
12 years
I
fixed
mean,
term of imprisonment at the Indiana Department of
Okay.
Corrections, with 6 years suspended upon
Both
Like
live in
Frank-
Indiana.
He violated
Pudding
that
way.
probation on January 12th of 2014.
The probable truth. She's in the casting call.
Yes, 2014.
And when he violated the probation, what happened?
He was revoked on April 14th, 2015, and it was revoked 270 days and released with
Very back.
JTC of 135 actual days and ordered returns to original terms of probation.
And are these misdemeanors or felonies?
These are felonies.
What is their?
Bryce with a felony.
The next one is in Jefferson County, Kentucky,
Who'd have thunk it?
and that one, the offense date is August 6, 2013.
What was the charge for which he was convicted?
Assault, 4th degree domestic violence, minor injury.
Okay. What was the date of conviction?
August 19th, 2013.
And what was the sentence in that case?
He was sentenced to 193 days in jail, which 180 of those days were suspended. He was credit time served for 13 days and sentenced to 2 years supervised probation.
And is that a misdemeanor or a felony?
That is a misdemeanor.
Was his probation successful?
No, he violated once on April 17th, 2014, and again on December 17th, 2014.
Nikki, she is a paralegal. They're just going over his criminal
The first
history.
time was April 17th, 2014, and then again on December 17th, 2014.
What were the penalties for each of those?
The first time he was revoked on April 24th, 2014, he was sentenced to 90 days in jail, credit time served for 12 days. And the second time, it was the sentence date was June 3rd, 2016, and he was sentenced to 90 days in jail.
Is there another conviction?
Yes, the next one is from Clark County, Indiana,
Oh, Indiana represent.
January 12th, 2014.
Offense?
2 counts of battery resulting in bodily injury.
Not in Indiana.
What was the date of sentence?
July 16th, 2015.
Oh, right before my birthday.
He was jailed for he was sentenced to 1 year in jail, 6 months in jail, sentenced to run consecutive. Correct.
And does Indiana consider that a misdemeanor or a felony?
They consider those misdemeanors.
Was that probation successful?
No, he was violated on December 16th, 2015. Or excuse me, he violated on December 16th, 2015.
And was there a final conviction?
Not for that, that is still
No,
currently,
I'm sorry.
yes. The last one is Jefferson County. April 13th, 2014.
The crime.
Assault 4-3, domestic violence, minor injury.
So what's a fourth-degree assault?
Was
I wish
convicted on
David were
April
here.
24th, 2014.
What was the sentence like?
He was sentenced to 270 days in jail with 180 days suspended. Credit time served
Stray,
12
he's
days.
trying out for the new
2 years
Mulan
supervised probation.
Netflix.
Was probation successful?
It was not. He had a violation on December 17th, 2014.
But didn't you hear, Nikki? His lawyer called him an artard.
I cannot believe he, like, in my day, we used to call him, what is it? That word I'm not supposed to say? Hey,
Sir.
hey, masculine presenting person that I'm not going to assume
Any
the
questions
gender
from the
of.
defense?
What was that word I wasn't supposed to say?
Well, doesn't he have like a 20-year-old intern that like listened to his opening and was just like, dude,
A little over a year.
I know I'm an intern here, but no.
So you were asked to get records together and kind of collate them into a.
Get him, Colonel Sanders.
Correct.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't have any other rulings.
As
Have you
in-
considered that
So
he's
is
too
that
dumb
it?
to understand parole?
And go in.
Never mind.
Feel free to go, madam.
He's
Thank
what
you.
the French call les incompetents.
Compétent.
And I only know that from freaking Home Alone.
When someone on your own side calls you a retard,
And he just sat there with this look on his face.
Look, I'm just saying, if I ever get, arrested, I would like Colonel Sanders to tell
call
everyone
me
I'm
a
mentally
retard.
subnormal. Oh, Lord. She's got all his parole violations, don't she? Also, ma'am, try some cardio. Look,
Thank
you
you.
are carrying a service weapon somewhere on your person.
Oh God, I hope he doesn't act out and we hear
Isn't it
taser,
something
taser,
very-
taser.
My name is Kristen Henley. I am a probation and parole officer with the Kentucky
Okay.
Department of Corrections.
And as part of your duties with the Office of Probation and Parole, do you
and it's
learn about
really,
penalty
really
ranges
boring.
for
Do you
Wait,
wanna
is this
try-
Megan Hall?
the system of parole and
This is,
incarceration in Kentucky?
Yes, ma'am.
This is Megan Hall or
The
Megan Hall's
defendant has
sister.
been convicted of
I don't
You know who that is? The cop
No.
that like did 5 guys in the police department and got fired.
Oh,
The penalty range for murder can be 20 to 50 years, life
I
without
don't
parole,
think she
or life without parole for
did the
25
same
years.
thing.
Oh, I'd hope not, because she deals with inmates. But she looks just
Basically-
like her. Thank you, Fed.
Oh, I feel bad for her. This is how I flush. So not in beautiful, no, but in patches all over.
That's the
I look like I have
sentence could be
hives.
21, 42, any number in between 20 and 50.
Yes.
The judge is out there.
If
The
somebody
judge is like, I want 5 guys for lunch. And this witness is just like,
without parole,
me
will they
too.
at some point be the parole board?
Yes.
Okay. before
Hey,
we
David.
get to really-
Hello.
You tell the jury what parole is.
Does this not
I
look
don't
like
know.
Megan Hall from a few months ago?
Parole is a supervised.
That's been placed in a microwave?
A prison sentence
Yeah.
that is authorized by the state parole.
Y'all.
And how does
Look, she's
somebody
not
get
picked
parole?
the right. She's not picked a flattering color or
Go
hair.
before the parole board?
They do.
Look, she's my sister in how she
What are some of the
flushes.
things that the
Because
parole board can consider?
I always
The
look like I
parole
have a
board,
sunburn
for
and
appropriative
weird
release, is that what you're
patches.
talking about?
Yes.
Okay. They will consider psychological evaluations, educational programs, the seriousness of the crime, whether it was violent, the criminal history, the juvenile record,
How many
institutional
cops I slept
adjustment,
with?
history of drug and alcohol involvement, history of assaultive behavior, history of violence.
Hey,
and
Bryce
any
is like
pending
20
charges.
bucks is 20 bucks.
And when somebody goes before the parole board, what are the different
Allegedly.
choices the parole board can make at that point?
There are 3 different choices. They can choose to parole them, they can choose a deferment, and then they can choose serve out.
What does serve out mean?
Serve out means that they will be required to serve until their minimum expiration date.
All right, so we'll go back to now what somebody's eligible for parole. Is murder a violent offense?
Yes.
What does that mean? Does that
So
affect
smart
parole?
to realize she was
It does.
unsubscribing
With
her son
somebody's
to
convicted
life.
of a violent offense, eligible for parole.
They have to serve at least 85% of
His
their
client
sentence.
was too smart,
Yes, ma'am.
to realize.
So. if
I
somebody
don't
is-
understand what you just said,
would be
Nikki.
eligible to meet the parole board.
A 20-year sentence, they would be eligible to meet the parole board
so
in 17 years.
Deleting maybe?
And at that point, what you said before, the parole board could parole them, defer them, or just tell them they have to serve out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Or
What,
sentence.
21 years, when would you meet the parole board?
21 years would be 17 years and 10 months.
Is there, well, what about 50 years?
50 years, 24 and up would be 20 years.
Why is that?
Statutory limits.
So does everyone, before we get to these two last ones, does everyone meet the parole board at 20 years?
Or what did I miss?
Yes.
So 24 years is.
This is just the parole officer sentencing guidelines.
Are there two exceptions?
Yes.
And if somebody is sentenced to life without parole for 25 years, when do they meet the parole board?
After 25 years.
And if somebody sentenced to life without parole, when do they?
They do not.
And you said something earlier when you were talking about the final choice the parole board can make is to serve somebody out.
Mhm.
And you said something about a max date.
Minimum date.
What is
Yeah.
that?
The minimum date is the date the offender will satisfy their sentence with good time credits.
Do good time
hang
credits
on.
apply to violent?
Good time
Some of them,
credits.
yes.
Okay. What is a good time credit?
A good time credit,
Because I've had a good time.
Shave a few months off of that lifetime sentence.
good time is just a
Wow,
general
there's no
term for
people
all the
food
credits
up
that an
here.
individual can receive.
So let's say somebody has a 20-year
I've
sentence.
never
goes before the
heard
parole board,
that term
they say,
before.
"You're
Good
left
time.
I've
out."
heard
How
time
much time
or
might these good time
credit for
credits be?
time served. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Good. It's
I'm not
it's
happy.
always credit for good time served. Like you have, if you're model inmate, you get credit.
Oh, so Brice has never had one of those days. I see.
Yes. I love
Well,
it how the
nice.
cross examination was like, but just because he's eligible for parole doesn't mean he's actually going to get it, right? That's what the defense is relying on.
Yeah. And I think that the Mr. Defense Attorney is going to get up and say that he just because you give him parole doesn't mean he's going to get parole.
You know what my argument would be? Let me know in the chat whether or not you guys think this would be effective or not. But this is what I would argue.
There are credits that could-
I would.
Hang on a minute. I'll put it for a sec so you can talk.
Let's say somebody has a 20-year sentence. Meets the parole board at 17 years.
You can pause
I
it
can-
at any point.
I can't
I
even
mean,
find the
yeah,
button.
just
Yes,
you
he
know,
Just tickle
will
the
serve
button.
on parole
Just
supervision.
you
until
move
he
your
does his
mouse
minimum
over and you
expiration date.
press the left button and it pauses.
No, that's
Sorry.
amazing.
I have about 20,000 tabs open right now.
Well, I feel like that's a you
million
problem. You
tabs.
should be more responsible if you're going to host this.
You're such a
All right.
dick.
So
Uh-oh, you gave her middle
If-
finger an erection. If it doesn't
if-
go down in 4 hours, you see a doctor or go out and tell people what you think. I mean, the choice is yours. Get a
Look at-
wig and tell
look at
people
this
whatever
man.
the hell you think.
he's a retard. You've seen what he has done. You have found him guilty of it. Do you want to put this person with no hope of ever getting out into a prison population? Think of the other prisoners. Or do you want to get him the possibility of parole so that maybe he will conform his behavior so that maybe he'll get the possibility of parole? But that's a light at the end of the tunnel for him. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to change his behavior and just think of the other inmates. Does that work? If you
I
focus
don't
on
know,
the
because
other
I would
inmates?
counter with, y'all, let's get him some Gen Pop justice.
That's true. Yeah, the jury's probably thinking, well, he's not going to last that long anyways. We're good.
Well,
He's going
the-
to pop off to someone.
somebody came into our chat like the first day and said they knew the family. And the reason he's been acting up for 7 years is to delay the trial because their family members of the kids he unalived are in that prison.
Oh.
Ooh.
Because he's only in the jail right now. Once
Yeah.
he gets travel, maybe that was the little nod thing he gave. You know, like, all right, you got to make things happen.
Look,
I don't.
I don't condone Gen Pop
that's
justice, but
spicy.
if it happens,
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Um, So that's what somebody in the chat came into the chat. I hadn't seen her. Oh, okay.
Which chat?
That's Nana.
Which chat?
Ours. It was like the first day.
That was you. One was in a. Oh,
Oh, was that
bless you.
you?
One. Huh? What?
Oh, awesome.
Or was it someone? I thought it was someone else. But yeah,
Oh,
that
it could
would
have been. We also had. Was it Lynette that was here
that might
yesterday?
have been.
Yeah, we've got two people from the area. Who?
But that would explain how he's able to be perfectly calm right now. But then has spent every other single. The defendant is perfectly calm and respectful and obeying the rules for the trial. But every hearing up to now, he's been a complete asshole.
Yeah,
delaying
he has been a
things
little bit.
and just
because he's been delaying it because he doesn't want to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So
No.
Next
Yeah,
on
someone
Nightly
else
News.
did.
I agree with Matt. It might not be a good argument, but it's the best argument available.
yeah. I don't know if there's a better one.
Better
You
let
know,
him
my
wreak havoc
argument
in
would
prison than
be-
in the neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, but it's a better argument than I think.
Wow.
He's a retard, so cut him some slack. I mean,
Well, the best argument would be, look, Brice is one of the 3% of people that just cannot live even halfway near the zip code of do right. So let's just throw him to Snake Island.
How are you doing, Crime Spice?
Hi.
Spice. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for inviting me.
That's
Hopefully
okay.
I was enjoying my popcorn watching you guys. I'm just waiting patiently.
hello, hello.
I'm waiting patiently for this to
Oh
unfold.
gosh, it gets better.
That's all
I
right. We've
mean,
never
I thought
had
we
you here
peaked
before.
at our word.
Well, we've not
Oh.
had you here on this channel before, and now seems like a really good time considering that you've been following this one, and since also that you're not free, you're not actually streaming it right at this point in time. You're in our chat, so perfect timing to welcome you.
Thank you. I feel the love. I've been having this community's love bombed on me.
Hi, Crime
It's-
Spice.
Yeah,
It's wonderful. Hello.
and
It's how
Sorry,
we
I
get
was
you in the
messaging
Oh my
club.
god, I
my
just noticed
mother-in-law.
I just noticed your wig.
Yeah.
Is that a Corilla DeVille wig?
No,
I've been
it's
I've been listening on my
blonde
phone while I was
with black and blue. It just had all the colors, so I was like,
Oh my
"Oh,
My
look at
theory
this."
is that that's her real hair, and other times she has the wig on.
yeah.
well,
Look,
that could be the case.
my people suit. I'm working on it. I'm just saying.
We,
I have
we don't.
all
We
the
never
all
knew
the,
know who most
or
going to be
goodbye
from day to
horses.
day.
I just have on a loop in the back of my in the background whenever I feel like it, and I dance in a row. But
Would
you
you
know, that's
ask
for
me?
OnlyFans.
I'd ask me.
Yeah, you know, it's all
What
the
was
best
that?
things you've never seen.
You've never seen
Haven't you
Silence of the
seen
Lambs?
Silence of the
I
Lambs.
hate that movie with a
Oh, it's the
passion.
best.
I've seen it once when it like first came out, and the only thing I know is it puts the lotion on the skin. Or
Yeah.
else it gets
Okay,
the hose
well,
again.
Well,
the
and
iconic goodbye
Buffalo Bill.
horses tuck
And then he's
scene,
like, yeah, he tucks in and he's like dancing around.
and he's like,
yeah,
would
that's
you fuck me? I'd fuck me.
okay, so
I didn't remember that
interesting little tidbit about this movie. So when that particular actor came in to play and read for Buffalo Bill, they're like, look, he's kind of neat. He went out and basically came in and did the goodbye horses dance. They're like, he's like, I can method act this shit out, okay?
You know,
they were like, sold.
He's the actor that plays
Monk.
in Monk, yeah, and
Yeah,
that brand
the
new
detective.
Monk movie just came out a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Wait,
good.
he joined
Yeah.
the good side?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
plays
he
like
had-
Monk's boss.
He has this big giant.
Wait, Monk is
like-
still a show on, like making them?
I had
No,
no
they just
idea.
came out with a movie.
I didn't know
The
that.
Monk
Oh my
movie. It
gosh.
just was released December 8th, I think it was. Just a couple weeks ago. My dad and I watched it.
Nice.
It was really good.
I
But
hope we
he's had
haven't
a
scared you off.
ever since he played that character in Silence of the Lambs, Buffalo Bill, he's
Yeah.
had this like big giant broom style mustache. he's really a great actor, but
Amazing.
It's hard to look at his face and not think
I know.
of him in that Silence of the Lambs. And I don't know if you
Okay.
saw my thing earlier, just one quick thing, but Jodie Foster is the lead in True Detective season 4.
Interesting.
Speaking of Silence of the Lambs.
And Ronald
Okay, I'll be
Reagan.
quiet.
No, you're fine.
That's okay. Let's keep
And
going
Reagan
with
getting
this.
shot.
I had a little bit of a look at this proceeding prior to coming live today. And once this prosecution lady finishes being boring, the defense has a little bit of fun with this lady. So let's
Really?
keep going. Yes, he does, yeah.
Oh, I feel so bad for
Yes.
her. She's
are there
flushing so
credits
terribly.
Megan Hall.
from the back end of that?
There can, but he won't. He will not go below 85% of his sentence.
So he'll serve at least 17 years.
Yes.
Wait, is this
May
Back
serve
to the
more.
Future?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, that was what,
If he
88?
is placed on parole for 20 to 50 years or life, and he is, or even life without parole for 25 years, and he is paroled, how long does somebody serve on parole?
He will serve on parole until his minimum expiration date.
And is that what you said earlier? is
His
the time
minimum
of the
expiration
sentence
date.
That's what she
Yes.
said.
Was he a
So when
gallon of
somebody is
milk?
on parole, is he released out of the streets?
Yes, they
Oh,
are
that's
supervised
racist.
probation and parole at that
And
point.
what sort of things do they do while they're on parole?
They have to follow several rules. We have a set of general conditions that we put them on.
Haven't we
They will
tried
report
parole
to an
with this
officer on a regular
gentleman like
basis.
umpteen
They maintain
times and he
employment.
can't seem to
They
figure it out?
participate in counseling programs. They have to maintain a stable residence.
Yeah.
No possession of firearms, no use of drugs.
Stop
They have
hanging out with
payment of
minors?
everything, supervision fees, restitution, no new offenses.
And are these similar to the
Rules that
requirements
he's been
when
living
he's on
under for the past
probation,
2,
case
3,
over
4
that?
years.
The rules he's been
if
violating for
somebody
the
is
past
on
20
parole and then
years?
violates the parole, what happens?
Wait, he
They
unalived somebody when
will
he was
more
on
than likely go
parole?
either face a sanction or go back before the parole board.
This gives me Taylor
you both
business
from parole?
vibes,
Yes.
this guy.
Can you tell the jury what the difference is between consecutive sentences and concurrent sentences?
Oh, I thought you meant the witness.
He would have killed a lot more than 3
Consecutive
people
sentences
if he
run
was
right at
still
one
on the
after
street.
another.
Most
and
of the people he
concurrent,
knows are still
the sentence
alive.
will run at the same time.
It's a Jody Arias defense. It's better than the Chewbacca defense.
That's true.
It's better than the "you're just mentally subnormal" defense.
Yep.
Okay, so if somebody
I just
has
imagine being in court and having your lawyer call you.
the jury run, and let's say they get 30 years in each count. Can the jury
Surprised he
run those
didn't
all
attack
together?
him.
Currently,
That's true.
Yes.
can the jury
No,
also-
retarded. You're retarded.
Yes.
Is there a cap on the number of
70 years.
The defendant has also been convicted of tampering.
I'll be back in a minute or two.
Right.
What is the penalty
Back in a
range for
flush.
that?
1 to 5 years.
Yeah, just leave your
Exactly.
mic on. Do a Vivid.
What is the penalty range for
That is up to 12 months.
Oh, I can't click on chat.
No, because you're not an admin.
I wonder if I can.
Other questions? Thank you.
For the defense.
It's frustrating, isn't it? I hate it when I go into someone else's chat and someone else's stream out and I can't click.
I know.
I want to make sure
I tried to do it on
this
Nick's
is all clear
earlier
to
with
the jury
Jody,
when
and I
we
was
talk
like,
about
"Ooh,
this
I
sort of
can
stuff
click them."
all the time,
Mm.
what you just
It's
read,
annoying,
right?
hey?
Okay. But actually, some of this stuff is fairly confusing.
It is.
Okay,
So
hopefully I don't disappear.
I
I've
may
never
even
done
ask
this
you
before.
the same question that she asked, but I'm not doing it to be confusing. I'm trying to make sure there is.
I'm not sure she should. I mean, there were people that trusted
Yeah.
this defendant, right,
Here are the
Salvador?
most, time
Yeah.
that the jury has convicted Mr. Rhodes of. It's count 1, 2, and 3. Those are all counts.
Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on. I got to go get my other
Walk this
thing.
through, but I want to make clear when we're talking about.
You're right.
You sound like me. I'm like,
5%, I wanna make
for
sure
Crime
this is
Spies, are
clear.
you
We're
originally
not
from
talking
Florida?
about,
No, I live, no.
the 85% would
Midwest
only
mom?
play in
Yeah.
to.
Is that a
I
Midwest mom
am-
accent I hear?
Right, that's-
Minnesota, don't you know? Oof.
Yeah,
duh.
okay, there we go.
Okay, I got to go
The
get
prosecution
some
was
login
asking you
credential.
about-
Hold on.
Good time, right? But actually, with a violent offense, someone is not eligible for most of what we call good time. That's, so
Good time with
No
there's
good
Rhodes.
not
will
a
be had
concern.
by
the jury should not
Brice.
have a
Good
concern
time.
That a sentence, for example,
I have
of
never heard it like
years
that.
is actually a sentence that was whittled down by good time to some low number. If right, I mean, it doesn't go down.
Maybe it's
not
Kentucky.
we don't in Kentucky with a violent offense. People don't walk out the door with a small percentage of their sentence.
Okay.
Also, because with movies, TV, and true crime podcasts, people
Hey.
get confused. In Kentucky, we don't have a system
Yeah,
where
that's what I said.
one
Don't
day
disparage
counts for 2 or
me, sir.
1 month gets doubled or anything like
No.
that. Okay. So if somebody's serving a year, that's a day for day year.
Yes.
So
That's why
Well,
he
he's all
has the
dressed up
Band-Aid
for
on his
it.
head.
also, I
Someone
wanted to
grabbed a little too
clarify,
hard.
You may have said it, but I didn't say it.
Allegedly.
There's no possibility of probation at all, right? Okay. Because this is a violent offense. That's not something that anyone even talks about.
That was a question.
Talk about these things like 20.
Yeah, that was kind of just a.
When the Commonwealth is asking about the 20 years parole eligibility, that's an actual 20 calendar years. Parole eligibility.
What other kind of years are there? Moon years?
I don't know if any of this is effective. Why are we
Even
even
if someone is eligible for parole,
to make him sound like he's doing
said this, but I
something?
just want to make sure it's-
Well,
doesn't mean
I
he
think
never
he's.
gets.
No, correct.
I think he's
being
comforting the
eligible
jury
for
that if they
parole
don't
is never a guarantee
give
in
him
Kentucky
the
that you will
maximum
get parole.
sentence,
And you laid
it's
out
still
the
very
criteria and
unlikely
things that
this
the parole
man's
board
going to
looks at.
qualify for parole.
So is it fair to say that someone
Has he been
basically has to
sentenced yet?
earn
Did
I don't
we get
even
the
know how
result?
that-
go to the parole board?
Correct.
This is
Maybe
a
you'll
waste of
find
time.
It's just the
Jesus.
penalty
So
phase.
if somebody
Well, I know,
Um,
but do we actually get a
does a bad
sentencing
job on
today?
those criteria that you laid
No.
out for us,
No.
they don't get
Alright.
parole.
It resumes in the
Correct. It'd
morning.
be up to the parole board, but yeah.
Don't you know?
So if
No,
someone
stop.
went up after 20
Sorry.
calendar years
I love
of
your
parole,
accent.
they could be denied parole.
Salvador's
And
thinking
under
back
some
to his mom.
circumstances, The parole board might, if they've done very badly, the parole board.
Should I
might
send-
Is that your
Well,
friend
then
there
might
in
never see the
that
parole board again. Did I
ice
do say
chipper? Or what is it? The
Or the parole
tree.
board.
Oh,
again,
so
after
that's your
20
friend
years,
there.
just-
Okay.
just using this one,
Yeah,
might
that's pretty
say,
much
"We'll
how
see
it
you
sounds
again in
around here.
You know,
3 years,
he
5
might be
years."
building
Some
up to it,
members don't say no.
Mats. I don't know, but he didn't make that opening statement to the jury,
Does
which
the
is where I
parole
would have
board
expected
then
it.
tell
And then you lay out the
people
evidence,
who are
and then you
in
make the
prison with
closing
someone
argument to the
parole
jury.
might be
He didn't talk about it in his opening statement, so I doubt he's
Are
going there.
people told what the expectations are and things like participating in programs, staying out of trouble, things like that?
When they're incarcerated?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's not a surprise.
No.
They know what is expected of them, so people have an opportunity to try and earn that, right? Or
No.
if they don't meet
He's
expectations,
gonna get his
then
GED.
it's their own fault.
Yeah, it's his own damn fault, damn it.
Not damn fault. Yeah.
Oh,
Or he
or
could just
his-
stay in there forever.
Inside
That'd
of
be his fault.
the prison.
Oh, with his IQ, he could probably get a college
There
degree.
are programs, and I know I'm not going to ask you specific programs. Specific
I'm
places,
trying so hard to be mute.
But there are programs available.
Correct.
And
You're fine.
the parole board evaluates whether
Shock
people participated
therapy?
in them and how they did in them and things like that.
Correct.
There's also therapy and counseling, depending upon the needs of the individual.
Correct.
And if appropriate, medication will be administered by the Department of Corrections as well.
Read Halidol Blow Dart.
The people
Oh,
who
no,
do
you
this
don't.
in the Department of Corrections are well-trained.
Correct.
They see lots of people,
Correct.
and they know what they're doing. Right.
I would like
Correct.
to agree. Yeah, correct.
You tell me if you don't know. And those professionals make decisions about, when we're talking about parole, for example, they make decisions about who should stay in and who should be released with some form of supervision. Right?
Yes, the parole board does.
Yes. And if someone is eventually, I mean, we're talking about large numbers here, if somebody is eventually released on supervision, then they're still not, they still have things they have to do.
Correct.
They have rules they have to follow.
Correct.
And people who work with you follow
Sir,
up on
your
it, right?
argument is negated
Make sure that people are
by
following
the
rules.
multiple times your client
If they're not, then
violated his past
back forward.
paroles.
Yeah, we put it back before the parole board.
Well, there is that, yeah.
thank you. I don't have any further questions.
So,
Can you redirect? All right, you're free to go.
Fine.
Thank you.
Not going to work
Come up
out.
with any other witnesses?
That concludes the comments.
All right. Thank you. We're gonna take a break. Although I do want to go ahead and tell you all, I don't think that we'll be here very late today. I expect for you to be out of here hopefully by 4. But right now we're gonna take a 10-minute break. If you could just come back in front of the courtroom
Yesterday,
doors
their
at
10-minute break was an
2
hour and 20 minutes.
2:40.
Oh, we know.
Well, at least this time we could fast forward.
Yeah,
Well,
this one isn't. It's like 15 minutes, maybe.
You see the artwork in the bottom left-hand corner? We created that in Photoshop during the hour and a bit break.
I was wondering.
I like the geisha wig.
Yes.
I think he's going to do great in the new Mulan. I mean, they had to make a comeback after they filmed it in that Chinese death camp, so.
Well, Snow White doesn't have to be white, and Mulan doesn't have to be Asian, right?
You know, it does get
whose
all the
idea
tick
was
boxes.
that? Was that Bobby? Did you want the geisha wig? It was all the chat all decided exactly what I was to make in Photoshop.
Do we have an
So
album
we-
cover for Sal's
No.
Saturday song?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. I was all focused on Brice
A
and
sex
his blow
toy.
up.
A sex doll.
I need to see if there's a Jodi Arias doll.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
I'm just saying, you got to watch that Cellmate Secrets Revealed documentary.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that sounds.
Jodi Arias as
She's
cellmates.
very, she's very good at using people for like a short time, but the relationship eventually deteriorates.
Salvador wants to be used by Jody.
I would have never
Only
guessed
for the
that.
short time, not the long run.
Yeah.
Okay, but that
Okay,
sounds
that-
very much like, you know,
Goofy.
Amber Heard. I mean, she could pretend to be normal for a very long time. She'd love bomb her way into relationships.
Well, she
And
mimicked
then
the other
crazy
person.
comes out.
She mimics the other person, but it can only last for so long.
Yeah, because
Obviously,
you know, Cray Cray is going to win through.
For Mr. Rhodes' defense, would you like
What's
to comment?
funniest is it starts off with the girl going into the tattoo parlor, telling the tattoo artist she's got a tattoo on her leg that Jodi Arias did in prison. They fashioned
Text her from right up here to
something
Lily
out of
saying
like
thank you.
staples and
I
a
will have you raise
pencil
your
and
hand. Is there
pencil
a
lead.
legitimate-
And then the end of the
Is
documentary
it
is
James,
the
James?
cover-up reveal.
Oh, that's
I thought it was really good.
Wait, what documentary?
Cellmate Secrets. Jodi Arias'
Oh, that
Cellmate
one.
Secret.
I need to
That
watch
one,
that
yeah.
David's well across all Jody, all of the holes, every hole.
Well, she
All
put a
of it.
songbird on her leg.
She is a three-hole wonder.
She's. I expect there may be more holes by now. Who knows? Anyway,
Was it ironic that Travis ended up with more holes?
Oh God, Sal.
I know you
But
guys
don't bump.
said your name, but if you could introduce yourself.
I'm Anna James.
And what do you do for a living?
Well, most
That sounds
recently,
great.
I've been in
Oh,
the
this
mental health
is the
field for
one.
28 years. Most recently, my
This
position
is
for
the
11 and a half
stepmother.
years
I'm
was
going to be
assistant
very
mental health
quiet.
coordinator,
I just want to
what's the
enjoy
stepmother?
the largest Head
your
Start preteen in the state of
commentary.
Indiana.
And what is your relationship to Brice?
I am Brice's stepmother.
When did you first meet Brice? When did you first come into his life?
Is she going to talk about him being a
And
tart?
how old was Brice at that time?
I'm sorry, a what?
And
Oh,
when you
and
met
We're
him,
gonna-
tart.
how much time did you spend with him?
You know.
We're gonna take a beautiful
um,
trip down memory lane.
Okay. There's not going to be any discussion of him missing any chromosomes or adding any extras on.
Well, she does well, you'll just have to watch.
She's
Okay.
dead.
What did she say
but
she
the-
did in Indiana?
This woman, I don't remember.
Yeah.
She's like in the
can go back a bit.
schools. I think she works for the school system. But
Yeah.
yes, we're
One's
gonna
a hell
we're gonna
of
have a
lot.
lovely photo
Montage.
presentation of
Ooh,
Brice as a young
PowerPoints.
funny
Brice.
child swimming
Oh, fantastic.
and
Oh, a boyish figure.
slumbering with
With-
his brothers. It's just gonna it's a beautiful, heartwarming story you're about to hear.
Odd, because I was told that he was
Mental
left in a
health at
corner
schools.
while the brother became a professor.
Okay. Hello. Hey, old
That's-
lines.
Yeah, I'm just
Um,
gonna sit back and work on my hat here.
You know,
Okay,
the anti Real Housewives show is Mo and Crime Spies on a panel together. That's all I'm going to say.
Real
Just making
Housewives.
fun of people.
Yes.
I had
Okay,
a hard
sweet.
time. I had a hard
Down.
time on my live stream. Like being quiet. I was just, I
Oh,
finally,
yeah.
I just like, I'm just gonna be quiet. I can't.
No,
It's
it's
hard to
okay.
find.
But that's actually really good. So I think we have enough now. And who is it? Half Irish said, "It's the stepmom. We have to listen because she's a stepmom."
Okay.
So let's do that. So we'll have a listen for a little while and we'll pause it at intervals. But yeah, I think that sounds cool. She sounds really interesting. Let's go.
A lot of time together. And how often would he stay with you? Well, he would. I had a young son too, and then his brother Bryce's brother Chandler was also there. So I got to be almost every weekend. But then he participated in sports, so I would be at his sports, his football games, and it's around a lot. And that was, I believe, how old did you say he was? He was 7. And then were there any other periods of time in his life when you were seeing him more regularly? So so then his father, and that was the beginning. So I started dating Sean.
This is the defendant stepmom?
Actually, Sean and I worked together at Charter Hospital. And Sean
Wonderful.
was Bryce's father. And so we started dating in 98. We introduced our boys. We got more serious in that first year. And then we moved in together in 1999. And Bryce was over a lot. I was very active in his life. And what period of time that you spent with Bryce would you say contained the best memories of Bryce? Those early years. So
I'll be right back.
And when he was little, and
He kind of grew up
and
to be
Chandler
a
and Credence
dick.
playing together, and Darion, which was another brother that he lived in Lexington when he would come and visit, and holidays, and our first family vacation was we went to Florida to the beach, and we stayed on the beach and went to Disney World, and it was just fun, age appropriate fun, and we were away, and it was a vacation, and I taught Bryce how to swim.
Oh, look, he's smiling. Oh,
Did you take any pictures during that vacation?
Oh, doesn't that just warm your heart?
Doesn't it?
Don't smile.
He
It
has
creeps me
feelings.
out.
Is this a photograph that you took yourself?
Oh, come
Yes,
on
that
now.
is a photograph that I took. And who are we looking at in this photo? So this is Bryce and my son Credence. And you'll notice in this picture,
Notice
Credence
how
has a
proud
big
she
cut
sounds.
chunk out of the front of his hair because he looked up to Bryce a lot. And Bryce had gotten a Nike swoosh cut in the back of his hair. And
Aw.
Credence wanted a Nike swoosh sign like Bryce. So that was his attempt at a Nike swoosh sign there. So we look at these pictures and laugh about that often, remembering that. And was this a photograph that you took as well? It was. It was Disney World. And that is Bryce,
He looks
Credence, Bryce, and
pissed.
Chandler from left to right.
Wait a
I think
minute.
the
There's
point
a
is to
Chandler
try
in
him
this
to be
bunch.
human.
I'm
Like,
so looking
sorry
forward to what
for
Mo
him,
has
though,
to say about
Terry.
this.
Disney World, that was at
It's like
MGM Studio
Christmas.
at the Muppet Show. We had our 3D glasses on.
Wow.
And who's in this photo? That's me and Bryce and Chandler and Credence. Okay, let's go back to the swimming for a moment. We can turn
I
that
always
to-
want to say Creedence Clearwater Revival, though, which
I
is
think it's really
terrible, and
that's-
I shouldn't think that.
just swim.
That's what somebody
Can you tell us
said
a
in
little
my
bit
chat.
what that was like? So
I'm like
you know, and-
Creedence. I'm
and
like
it was
CLR.
really important,
Bad
you know,
Moon
for us,
Rising.
considering that we had
I'm a terrible
young
person
children and
going straight to hell.
blending the family, and there was
It's
other
the
parents involved. And one thing I noticed early on with Bryce is that trust and him trusting me was really important. And I worked really hard at that. And also with Bryce, he didn't like to be embarrassed. He didn't like to do anything that would put him in a situation where he wouldn't be embarrassed or where he didn't have control. Or and so the swimming piece was big, and it stands out for me because it was so big, because he had trust was a big thing too. And so in my family, it was always really important to learn how to swim, to at least to know how to float, to be able to,
Okay.
if you fell in, to be able to save yourself. And so that was important, that for me, that the boys knew how to do that. And so that was,
Well, she's like a
Bryce
really
didn't know
upstanding,
how to swim, and so
nice lady.
I taught him how to I say swim, but it was more floating. And so, you know, teaching him how to float and trusting the water and trusting that the water would hold him up. And I mean, that was a very significant moment in the building of our connection and our relationship. Was teaching him how
Yes,
to
it
swim and that
is.
he trusted me, and he that was
Yeah.
and he let the water hold him up.
Am I the
and,
only one that finds
and he
this
was
completely
raised,
disrespectful
and he learned how to
when
swim.
he unalived two
Is there anything
kids?
else?
It is
That's
a
what I
bit
said.
And he's
A family vacation that
and he stole
It's a little
basically
bit
these
for the
memories from other
of a
people.
celebration of
Just
Bryce.
Bryce's
I was
goofiness.
ready.
He
I was
always
looking
so
for
goofy
something I could
when
throw
he was,
without
you know,
like
little.
shattering.
One of the Star
Yeah.
Wars
Yeah.
came out,
Look
and
how happy
when
he
we
is.
went
He's
to
like, oh, it's good to
Disney,
see you.
the boys, one of the
Oh,
shows we
I
went
don't
to
know
he's
was
how
stroking
this
his
was
knee
even
beard.
allowed.
and so then we went to
I mean, I get it. I get
see Star
that.
Can you
Wars
imagine the
after.
victims'
And
families listening to this
Yeah,
BS?
they're right
when we
there.
got back, he always liked to play
Well,
pretend too, and he ended
to
up
be
heating up just
very
like a small
fair,
person.
and
So
I don't like to
we
be
had
because of his
the
head shape and scabies,
arms of the couch had
but
covers on them, and Bryce thought they looked like
it
what
does give the
the
jury
torture were.
a sense
So,
of the whole
and the
person,
other thing I remember is like the boys were in their
which
underwear
is
a lot. So I have all these
important
pictures
for our
of
justice
them in their
system and
underwear with
stuff.
these
But
Hmm.
given my
pouch things on
proclivities,
their
I would
head and
just
their
send him to Snake
lightsabers, like
Island.
running around and it was
What
just
did I miss?
remembering that we were
Apparently Bryce learns how to swim
we
and
were
he's
just
very
happy
happy and
and
he's
they were
touching his
happy,
beard
and it
frequently.
was just a really nice
Just
Has he
Gives me
learned
the
to?
heebs so bad.
Thank you. I think we have a few more pictures.
This,
Could you
like,
describe this photo for us, please?
this is just
so
talking about how he
that
was
was
just
after
a lovely
Christmas.
child.
Credence, that's
Aww.
Credence and Bryce,
Oh,
and that was yeah, them singing something for me and Bryce playing the guitar. Credence continues to be a musician to this day.
Aww.
listen how proud
But
she is.
again, Bryce was
She
so
sounds.
goofy. He was such a he was
She's such a
always
proud mama.
making jokes, and yeah, that they were really getting into this song. I don't
Okay,
recall what the
Clearly.
song
so
was, but they were really.
do we need to, I mean, do we need to pause here and
And that was
ask
a
how the
family
hell
vacation to
family
Sure.
courts screwed this up
We
so much?
drove to
Because it seems like this family has their shit together. So
Yeah.
why did family courts decide to send him back to crazy mama?
Well, she kind of explains it a little bit towards the end.
Okay,
I don't want to spoil it, but
all
Okay.
right.
there were so many balls dropped, I think, with respect to this guy here.
Hmm.
But it,
All
you
right.
know,
we meet my cousin. It was Memphis was a halfway point for us, and so my cousin and her son met us there. And Bryce, when we were on Bill Street, he saw that hat and wanted that hat, and he loved that hat, and he wore it like the whole time. We were at Hard Rock Cafe in this picture, but Bryce had a little afro, and so the funny thing, he wore that hat the whole time, like from when he woke up until like the only time he didn't wear it is when we were swimming. But when he would take that hat off, he had wore it so long that that his hair was shaped in the form of that silly hat that he loved so much. Yeah, but that was a good family trip too.
What about this photo?
So that is Bryce and his brothers. That is Credence, and Bryce and Chandler and Darion, and that is in one of our rooms at our house. And that was, yeah,
Was that a chair that they all like to sit on quite a lot?
yes, that was a chair that we sit in. It rocked, and so yeah, there was a lot of.
Was it normal for Bryce to pull a goofy face in a photo?
It's normal. It was normal for Bryce to pull goofy faces in, yeah, because he was a goofy boy.
What about this photo?
So, this was, that was at my apartment. That's before we moved in. That's when the boys were supposed to be sleeping. You see, Chandler was always very obedient. I don't think he was really sleeping, but he knew to fake it. I think I came in to say, well, you guys are supposed to be asleep. And two, this was Credence's bedroom. Credence had bunk beds. He had 2 beds, but whenever they spent the night, they all slept in the same bed always.
To be fair to her naming her child
Bryce and his
Credence,
sister Tambrielle.
I was going to name Griffin
school photo or
6
family
if he
photo?
was a girl.
That
So
is a photo that his mom had taken.
that reminds me of that episode of Seinfeld where
What about this
George
one?
had picked out the name
Yes,
7.
that's one
If he
that I
was
had
ever to
taken.
have a kid with someone with
I think
George.
that's the
Right.
first picture I had.
And then someone
taken-
else stole it.
had of them taken together.
How old is Bryce, do you think, in this
That
photo?
was 99. 7, 8.
okay, normally in family pictures, everyone matches. Just saying. That was a mom dropped the ball there.
think we can move on. It's okay. What about the last one?
The grandson. That's Brice and his son, Joel.
Wait, someone bred with this man?
Yep.
Okay, wait, pause
He has
it.
a
Someone
child?
got to look at all of that and said,
Great.
I
A
want-
guy with a 70 IQ has a better dating life than I do.
they were like, I don't know if you know me, but I've seen your rap video and your moves are excellent.
Okay.
I was clumped.
I'm going to be making a rap video.
Sal getting prison
Shirtless.
tats.
We've got a lot of
Please do.
material with all those songs that
Yeah.
the chat came up with
We
the other
do.
day.
Yeah, we do. Okay, look, I'm a, I can't get past this. He has a child.
Yeah. I used to have a button in high
Really?
school that said stupid people shouldn't breed.
How many chromosomes does this kid have?
I feel
Oh,
bad
I'm
for
so
this child.
sorry.
I do
mean,
too.
Yeah, so do I.
Please,
Oh,
Lord, let
no.
his mother be. Look, let her have suffered temporary dumbness of the pink
Yeah.
pip varieties. Look,
Uh-huh.
every lady has a regret for a boyfriend that, you know, the lady bits were more in charge than the mental bits. We all have them. Now, generally, we don't breed with them, but, you know, it has happened on occasion. Let's hope that she's redeemed herself.
Why don't people use protection?
I have triplet 17-year-old girls. Let me just tell you, in that department, there are tons of options.
Uh-huh. My goodness me. This poor kid.
Are there any
Wow.
other memories from
Move,
Florida or
cameraman,
from
move.
when Brice was in the 3rd grade that you'd like to share? What
Really?
would you guys? What would you
Do we
do?
really need to worry about Brice being in the 3rd
Well, I was a busy
grade? I
mom,
mean, if
you
that's
know,
when the
so
best that he was
No worries.
happened.
That's interesting. Though.
Got to practices.
Yeah, I imagine it's not
So,
taken too seriously.
Brice, after when I moved in with Sean initially in '99, his oldest boys, Brice and Chandler, didn't live with him. They lived in the area, but they didn't live with him. And you know, I was a recent college grad. I, you know, was a sociology major. I had, you know, I worked in the field, and there was some red flags that I saw with both the boys and their living situation. And you know, and I had this grand idea, you know, not just me, but Sean too, just wanted to stabilize things for the boys. And we were moving towards, you know, marriage and long term. And, you know, and so I felt it would be important to bring the boys into our home to go to school. I worked at a community mental health center on the school.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you want to speak up some.
Sure. Do I need to scoop? Is this a mic?
That would be helpful as well, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
finally.
put it next to your
worked
mouth.
at, I worked on a
Grab
school-based
it
team
with
at a
your
community mental
hand.
health center in Jeffersonville, and I just thought it would be, we thought it would be a good idea to have them in the home and to be in a school that I could, you know, that I was involved in, and so we met with Brice's mom and his grandmother, and I had expressed to her at that time, and because I knew that there was, I let her know what my concerns were. I felt like, you know, I knew that there was some abuse in her relationship, and that I wanted, you know, that we just wanted to provide more stability, and we wanted the boys to be together, and so Shauna agreed to let Brice come and live with us for his 3rd grade year, and so he did live with us.
I'm so sorry. I'm still having a hard time hearing
I'm
you.
And that's probably my fault. I started talking softly, so let's just try and speak so everyone can hear.
Okay.
And I'll probably ask you about a number of things that you've just shared with us.
Okay.
I think, can you tell us about your participation in Brice's education?
And so, you know, the normal kind of things. I was probably a little bit more actively involved because I was at the school pretty often, and you know, in communication with his teachers about, you know, the progress that he was making, and you know, there were some concerns that came up, and we wanted to get him tested, and Shauna refused to have him tested.
I'm sorry. When you say tested, what do you mean?
So to be
Please
to
use the
have
R word.
testing
Please
for
use
a
it.
developmental or academic evaluated an evaluation through the
And
school.
what stood out to you that made you want him to be evaluated?
So the processing of information, the retention of information, just some cognitive
Was that
things
Bailiff sleeping back
as far
there?
as understanding.
Oh my God, how many mimosas did you have at lunch,
I
cameraman?
would.
And what was
It was
Lots
it
of
was
them.
challenging.
Look,
Oh
he
my
has,
God.
look,
There
Sal,
were
he
going
has
back
had
to
to
what I
have
had said
look.
earlier about
He
Brice
has had
didn't
to look at close-ups of
like to be
Bryce's head
embarrassed
for
or
like 2
feel,
weeks. He is
like he
he
didn't
has
have
PTSD
control
to the
of the
max.
situation or
He's been
understand
drinking
things.
lots.
So I had to think of
you
ways
guys
to help
kill me.
support him without making him without him feeling embarrassed. And so there would be often he would so there oftentimes I would help him as much as I could, but then
Sorry,
we
I
would
was
get to
just
a place
applying to
where
court TV for
it
the
wasn't
camera
helpful
guy
anymore, and so that's when I would
position.
talk to his
So
teachers about
basically, it boils
this
down to the mom is
as far as we were
saying,
able to get. We did
look,
read
he's a good
a
kid
lot.
as
He didn't
long
like
as you
reading,
don't
and
make
so
him
I
feel less than or
read to him,
embarrassed.
and the other
Then
boys, so
he's
we would do
liable
that,
to act out.
nightly.
He's a good
read
kid
very
as long as he
close
doesn't have a knife
and,
around him or a pew-pew.
chapter books and,
Yeah,
and
it's
things, and
Sal's changed
and that
professions twice now in the
helped
last
him
5
as far as with the reading piece.
to Brice? I think you said he did some sports at school.
It was youth league, so he was at that time it was youth league.
Oh,
and it
I
was
bet
youth
he'd
league
kill to
football.
get into that
And
position.
did Brice play football later in life as well?
I
Take a stab at it.
I am not certain. I don't think he played football later. I know that he played basketball when he was in middle
Fiberto,
school.
what is your deal?
But I don't think he played football beyond youth league that I'm aware of. We moved away in 2002, and that changed our accessibility and our interactions.
I'm sorry, changed what?
It changed our accessibility to Brice.
Is this
then
woman deaf?
when we moved away?
Did Brice ever get evaluated or tested?
He did get evaluated.
When did that
In
happen?
prison.
I am not for certain. I believe it was middle school when the actual testing took place,
And why did it take so long for that to occur?
because his mother had to agree to that and sign off on it.
Was it
He
just
didn't-
school that Brice struggled
He
with?
didn't
How
have
did
a
he
person
do
like
at
his
home
lawyer
with
to tell
chores
her.
or tasks?
So he was task avoidant, and and chores
Task
weren't.
avoidance.
And some again trying
Sounds
to
like my kids.
determine what's age
Clearly
appropriate and not
outgrew
age
it.
appropriate. He tried to get out of chores a lot. It wasn't his favorite thing to do, and often would engage in goofy behavior to get out of doing things.
He's matured so much.
There was
Well, yeah,
there wasn't a lot of
he
follow
actually
through, and
goes
again,
out
it
of
was
his
pretty
way to
task
cover up a
avoidant.
crime.
Why do you think he was so task avoidant?
I think, and then sometimes too, it seemed like, when I gave him directives or when his father gave him directives, the processing piece that I spoke about, I don't know that he processed that the whole way through. And so it would look like he was being oppositional and he wasn't being, it wasn't. So
Okay, she's using psychobabble to basically say this little jerk face wouldn't do his chores and he wanted to fight back with me, but it
sometimes that
wasn't
would lead
his
to,
fault because it was
problems,
oppositional and he
and
just couldn't
consequences.
understand.
Can you
But
pause it,
it was,
Ian,
I
if
think
you're
it
still
was
there?
again about processing and understanding.
If you're using the little girl's room. it's
Did
okay.
you ever observe Brice develop a morning routine or any routines or habits that he had on his own?
Not on his own.
He's not good in the morning.
He was,
Does he know how
was
to
pretty
brush his
dependent
own
on,
teeth?
me or his
Tooth?
brother to wake up and those type of things.
Yeah, this is
He
like
was still pretty young.
my
Did
mom
Brice ever have
describing
a
my
job with
brother.
you at any
He
point?
never
that
did any of this shit.
And so when we like I said, we moved away in 2002, and he came to live with us when he was in middle school and for a short time. And we were looking at some different alternatives to support him and to
He had an
get him
IEP.
acclimated into
Okay,
the
great. Move on.
community.
I was
And
just going to
he
say bye to
we
excited,
did
but she's not even here.
look at a job at Marsh at the
I know,
at
so
the
rude.
Who doesn't have an
supermarket, but
IEP?
that never
I know. Who
we spoke
isn't
with him
Salvador had
and
4 of them.
anymore?
IEP.
he no,
Yeah.
so he never did.
It's
did that
when
interview
you
go
have
down?
a
Oh, it was,
specialized
Individual
it was an unofficial
education
interview,
plan.
and it was. But Brice
Oh.
looked to me more to do the talking for him.
How old was he at the time?
Crime Spies is her
probably
channel.
14.
Let me post her link. I should have done that already. I'm sorry.
I want
Why
to
did
go
you do
back
that?
to talk about one of the other boys that you raised.
So rude.
You raised 3 boys? Sure.
Yes.
3 or 4.
Yes.
Did
during
all
the same
3
period of
murder
time.
people?
Was Brice the only one?
Well,
who
one is
had
named
struggled at
Credence.
school?
No, he wasn't.
Clearwater
He wasn't.
Revival.
And that was the
I'm
reason
hoping
why.
it's the
So
middle
Chandler was the
name.
other. He and Brice are a year apart.
And then
they're both,
there's a Chandler.
Is there a
Sean's
Brantley in the chat?
children,
I want to
and,
talk to your parents if there's a Brantley
he
in the
was
chat.
he was struggling and
That
was
is a
first in school
crime
just as
against
Brice was struggling,
humanity.
and that was one of the
Well, my
reasons
dad wanted to
why
name me
Sean and I
T-Bone.
wanted them to come and live with us. We were moving towards.
You would have been
we were
so
getting serious.
disappointed if he did.
Recently graduated from college.
That's like if I
I'm trying to
named
create
Fry
stability. We wanted the
Lur.
boys together, and so we brought Chandler. Yeah, so Chandler came to live with us too.
Were you able to help
And
Chandler
Satchel was
find
his second idea.
success or find support in school?
Yes,
I
we were
feel
able
like
to
that
Dad
create
needs
fits
to
you
come
more.
stability that we
on
wanted,
the
and,
stream
you know, that we
one
wanted to
time,
create for
or you
him.
need to play your dad.
Yeah, and Chandler.
I gotta
stayed
go
with
make dinner. I
us,
just
and
wanted
he
to say
stayed, he moved with
bye
us,
to everyone.
and,
Bye.
yes,
Yeah, I do have to
Chandler
get going too
completed his
because
PhD
apparently
No
if
worries.
we don't make
June
cookies in 5
of-
seconds, the boys are going to explode.
Ooh, I'm gonna make cookies too.
Yeah,
while I'm
completed his
making
PhD in June of this year.
Tell
And
excited
he
I said bye.
currently is
Salvador.
I
an
will.
assistant
Bye, Crime Spies.
professor of political
Bye.
science.
Nice to see you.
Nice to
How
see
do
you.
you feel
And Mo.
that consistency
Oh,
impacted
bye.
I
Nope,
feel like it
bye.
impacted him positively.
Hi.
Positively.
You leaving, Crime
as
Spice?
you know,
No,
I-
I'm staying here.
No,
Oh.
I'm getting ready to go.
It-
Oh, sorry, that was
impact- I mean,
David.
his-
Bye.
No,
his
Mo.
trajectory
No,
was
I-
completely different.
Yeah, if
And
we
he
don't
was-
make
he,
cookies
you know,
soon,
he was able to
someone's going
thrive.
to explode.
He
But
he worked on
Yeah,
he
no
was
worries.
able to thrive in
Oh,
a
Nikki,
yeah,
I
just
don't
Prince was my neighbor.
remarkable
get these
way. He had
excuses.
success in elementary
I'll see you
and
guys in a little
middle
bit
and
for
then high school.
newsy
He
news.
graduated in the top 20 from his
Sounds
high
good.
school. He went on to one of the most
Godspeed.
prestigious colleges in the University of Chicago. He worked on Capitol Hill for a while after he graduated with his undergraduate degree. He went back and
Was
got
he
his
involved in
master's
Jan
and his
6?
PhD, and
Shut up, Bobby.
he is
We're
currently
not going
a-
anywhere.
For sure, he'd get life without
an
parole
assistant professor
then.
at the University of Oregon.
What about Brice? You told us that you tried to get him tested.
Bye, Bobby.
What else did you do to try to help Brice?
So we went when Brice came to stay with us in the 3rd grade.
So, by the way, guys, thanks to One Blessed Nana, I have the Facebook account of the mum, and I've found some of the things that have been sent to her back around the time that were quite trolling.
Wow.
I'm just redacting like the comment names and things like that. So when we get to the next break, I'll share some of that stuff.
Okay.
So
Are
stick
you at
around.
1.25?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think we could go a little bit faster and it still be?
We can try and see.
We can try. Let's see if it's too like
Because
it's too
we've
hard
got a
to
little
use.
ways to go, right?
Not that much. Because
Oh, okay.
yeah, they stopped really early today, and there was also a big break of like an hour and a bit.
Oh, so there's only
So-
like 20 minutes left?
1 hour,
Less.
negative 1 hour.
Let's just
Not
keep it at
much, yeah.
1.25.
Yeah. Okay.
I spoke about the meeting with Brice's mother, and I understood kind of when I think back about it, 'cause I think back to it, I was really young, and so so we were both really young. We were all the parents in the situation were all very young, but I understood the importance of including his mother and respecting his mother and validating where she was, and that in that partnership in trying to raise Brice, it was going to be really important that we had a good relationship. And so I was aware
How'd that turn out?
it was just very guarded. We never knew where she lived. There was a lot of different phone numbers. She always had a lot of money, but no job that I was aware of, drove really nice cars. And so just, again, a lot of red flags for, just some, and then, Bryce's behavior, his guardedness, him being scared. He often, I didn't mention before, like when he would stay over, he often wanted to sleep in my bed at night. One night he fell asleep with a big gob of gum in his mouth and woke up and he had a lot of hair and had all this gum in it took a long time to get the gum out of the afro. But so again, it was just really important. I knew so that I needed to, that mom was in an abusive relationship. And so having, that conversation with her and, us getting on the same page. And so initially she agreed to allow him to come and live with us. And he stayed with us. And Sean and I weren't married. And so also too, I respected that I was not the wife in the situation. I was the girlfriend. And, so I respected those boundaries and was very intentional about respecting those boundaries. And then we got married on January 1st, 2000. And I was at a place where I'd been pushing Sean to get some kind of custody, to get something on paper because I felt like Shauna, Bryce's mother, with her lifestyle, was sabotaging our ability to provide the stability in his life that we wanted and we needed to have. We didn't have phone numbers. We didn't know where Bryce was when she would take him on the weekend. Sometimes she would take him to school on Monday. Sometimes she wouldn't. He would be late to school from time to time.
Really?
And so after we got married, I began to push more and I began to exert more. We have to do something, you need to go to court. You need to get some kind of something on paper so you have more rights in Bryce's life. And when I started to do that, that created friction and tension between Shauna and I, and she tried to come and get Bryce. And so we had talked with an attorney, we were seeking custody, seeking some kind of, and so it was led into a weekend where we kept Bryce until we could get to court. And on that Monday morning,
they were trying to get custody of
the
him.
school called me, the secretary, because again, I was very involved, and the secretary called me and said, Anna, there's a woman here saying that she is, Bryce's mother, and she's trying to take him out of school. And I, she said, and if you bring Bryce to school, she's going to be able to sign him out. And so we had all this stuff going on, and so I decided to keep Bryce. She said, just if you don't bring him, then she can't get him. So I kept Bryce at home, and it was a very emotional situation. It was a very emotional. Bryce's mother and grandmother came over, and Bryce was, in the house, and he was crying, and they were banging on the doors and the windows and come out here, Bryce, come out here. And I, explained to Bryce, this is, we're trying to protect you. We need to know where you're at on the weekends. We need to have phone numbers and addresses. And I said, I'm so sorry this is happening. And I said, but you tell me, what do you want, Bryce? What do you want? And he said, I just want to be with you guys. I just want to stay with you guys. And I said, well, we're going to fight to keep you here. And I'm sorry you have to go through that. But he hid in that bedroom. And he wouldn't go out. And his mom and grandma were saying, come out, Bryce, get out here, get out here. And but that was the hardest memory. I remember I couldn't protect him. So I protected him in that moment, but then just as soon as he went back to school, she came and got him, and we went to court, and we didn't get, it wasn't favorable for us. And after that, Shauna enrolled him at a different school, and we weren't able to have the same level of contact with him that we had been before, that we were able to before.
Was there anything else that was different after the custody battle?
Yeah, so Bryce was different. He was different. Our interactions and our connections, we've always been connected. We are still connected. I love Bryce forever. But his guardedness, he was more guarded. It was just like we started all over again.
Was that how Bryce was the first time you met him?
So that was Bryce, how Bryce was kind of, he was always, kind of guarded in the beginning. And it took a while, like I said, to develop that trust and that connection. And I was very intentional. It was really important for me. And then too, I was just hopeful, I was young and optimistic. And I think I loved the boys before I loved Sean. I loved his boys.
Can we pause for just one moment? Can I see the attorneys?
This woman's so great. What a great person she is.
It does make you wonder, though, if he wouldn't have gone back, if he would have stayed under her supervision for longer. I mean, it does sound like she genuinely cared for him.
He,
It still
I
does.
think
It still
he clearly
does.
would have turned out different.
Yeah, this is, I
Clearly.
mean, this opens up a whole different
From time past,
discussion.
It
Are there
does.
any other difficult memories that you have of Brice that you'd like to share with us?
Yes. So we always would do whatever, and we were clear with Shauna. We would always do whatever we could to help stabilize Brice's life and his situation. We knew, and again, I still don't know all the details. I don't know all the details of what
I love
Shauna
you, ex-coma.
was involved in. But I know there was trauma. I know there was abuse. I know, but it took a while, and Brice was getting into trouble, and Shauna called Sean and said, I need Brice to come and stay with you all. Is that, and we talked about it and said, absolutely, he can come and stay with us. That's when he was in middle school, and he came, and he stayed with us, and that was, when the job and, trying, and Chandler was there. And so, Chandler worked, really wanted him to be there, and really, loved that he was going to school with them, and Credence, and, but it was hard for Brice to acclimate. It was hard for and it was different. They were older, and he and Brice had done some things and got in trouble, and he was really mad at Sean, and there kind of how the whole situation ended is that Brice hurt himself. He did some self-injury. I don't know exactly what it was, but he had marks on his face, and called the cops and said it was Sean, and and he had to be. They took him to the Eskenazi, which was the local hospital, and we had to go through all that, and then go to get him, and when they realized that it wasn't that there wasn't any kind of abuse or anything going on, and we went to the hospital and to get Brice, and when I got there, he was in the hospital bed, and I was still like frustrated and just all kinds of emotions. And I remember, and Brice never disrespected me. That was one thing throughout he was goofy, and he wouldn't always follow directions and things, but we had a very loving relationship. We still have a loving relationship. And so I don't remember my exact words, but I said, something like, what, Brice, what is, going on? And he looked at me and he said, get out of my face. And it was just like a whole different, I'd never seen that in him. He sounded different, and it was, so it was, that was, I mean, I can still hear his voice in my head saying that. And I remember it was scary. It was hurt. I was hurtful. It made me sad. It was just, there was, and that was a hard, and it's a difficult memory. And decided after that Brice wanted to go back to his mother's. He wanted to come back to Jeffersonville, and we arranged that. I took him back down to his mom's, and it's a pretty quiet ride back down there. It was a pretty quiet ride back to his mom's, and when he was getting out, his mom came to the window. I was talking to her, and he looked at me and he said, "I love you," and I said, "I love you too, Brice."
How did you feel when Brice said he loved you after all of that?
I mean, I felt like a mom feels when they're, going through a really hard situation with their child, and they look at you and they say, I love you. And there were still all the emotions, because we were still dealing with a lot of stuff, not knowing, like what the next steps were and things. But I felt love for him too, and I felt concern, and I felt I always wanted to help him. I always wanted to do whatever I could. But again, kind of that helpless feeling that I had felt like that was,
reach around
throughout our relationship, is that my hands were tied a whole lot in helping Brice. And
I'm not sure about the
that
reach
was
around.
always hard for me.
If
Violence,
Brice
fine.
is
Sorry,
given
thanks,
an
Brice.
opportunity for
I heard you
parole,
play that earlier.
what would you like your role to be in his life going forward?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're down with the whole
So,
reach around
I
thing.
would like
Brice.
still always have a relationship with Brice.
Not sure if I've ever heard
I
that
feel
before.
like, ongoing mental health support is
Maybe we'll
really
explain
important
later.
for him.
We'll explain later.
Ultimately, that's his choice.
Okay, I look
what
forward
he
to that
follows through
explanation.
with. But I've been in the mental health field for 28 years, and I have a lot of resources, and so I would like to encourage that. I can see that I wouldn't, if in that relationship, that would be something that I
think a window
would encourage. And Brice, like I said, I'm his son's Nina. That's what he calls me, Nina. So I play that. I would continue to play that active role in being the grandmother, and and
I'm not quite clear how who's got the son, her
I think this
grandson.
is his stepmom.
His stepmom, yep.
Oh, I don't know who's the grandson.
But like that, like Bryce's child, I'm not sure I
Defendants have any other witnesses to call today?
heard what that is. I think this is
You want
the
to come up?
end.
I'll just double check with you before you let the jury go.
She just touched his lawyer's shoulder.
Oh.
She actually
Thank
likes
you
his
for
lawyer.
being so nice to my challenged stepson.
My retarded son. Stepson.
Stepson.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go ahead and break. We think tomorrow will be the
Thanks for
last
calling
day.
him a retard earlier, asshole.
But we're going to start up at 9 o'clock tomorrow, so we can try to, not have you go late if at all possible. So we will ask you to be outside the courtroom doors tomorrow morning, no later than 9. In the meantime, you are still under the admonition of not discussing, researching, or posting about the case. We'll see you tomorrow.
All rise for the jury.
There he goes back to prison. I hope he doesn't drop the soap.
Yes, indeed.
That'd be a pity.
I actually, for Christmas, I was crocheting some, those soap savers. You stick the soap in it. And I was going to name, maybe I should name each pattern after, a convicted felon. This is the Brice Rhodes. Don't drop the soap pattern.
Yes, indeed. Okay, just a second. Can you guys talk amongst yourself for just a minute? Because I just realized that there's a little bit more that I have to redact. DALI, come back.
No problem. I'll give you a topic.
He leaves at the worst time.
The chickpea is neither a chick nor a pea. Discuss.
Crime Spies, would you like to grift your channel a little bit?
Grift my channel?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Go for your life.
Let's see. Well, I've done most of my things on Rumble because I like to do subcommittee hearings. You know how we watch trials? Well, I do subcommittee hearings, specifically like Homeland Security and Judicial Committee meetings.
Okay.
But I started my channel when Letitia Stokes was my first trial. And then I did
that trial. Well, when I say I love that trial, it was an awful trial, but I got so into it, especially all of the talk about Tupac. And
all the phone calls, the 2 days worth of phone calls.
The 2 days of the phone calls. And I got to say that Mr. Stout was just an absolute legend. Like that dude.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was all of the acting, all of the doing the stuff for the FBI. I gotta say that dude, he really held it together under pressure.
He sure had some patience talking her through all that for 2 days.
All of the crazies. So yes, go on.
Then I did Tim Bleefnick,
the box
Tommy
man.
Randy, Tommy Randy trial.
Bleefnick was
the Family Feud guy.
I think the Family Feud guy.
Yeah, I did. He was interviewed on either 2020 or 48 Hours. I think the jury got that one wrong, in my opinion. I did Gareth Booth's house, Tommy Randy. That was actually an interesting one. And then this one. I did Danilo Cavalcante. on Rumble.
He
He was the fugitive that was gone for 11 days. Yeah.
I'm not
So
sure we
most of
can
my
say
stuff
that.
is on Rumble because YouTube doesn't let me play a lot of things we like to discuss. So, but I've been better
I
about being
understand.
on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say with the Bleefnik one, there was all sorts of drama with that because the judge, his wife was getting on FB and talking all about the case.
Yep.
Yes,
Yep.
and he also was the same judge that was involved in the divorce proceedings. And that
But it
was
is
before.
a small town, and Tim's attorney Casey Schnack was his divorce attorney as well. But it was a very small town.
Yeah. Okay.
If you have a
Kind of.
chance, at least watch the part of him being interviewed by, like I said, it was either 48 Hours or 2020. And then the other one did an episode like right after that. But he only was interviewed on that one episode. And I do not believe he did that. I think there was plenty of reasonable doubt. It could have been the
I
burglar.
have a feeling
They didn't check
that was the
into the
case too.
boyfriend. Nothing.
Yeah. So I'm just about ready, guys. I have just been redacting some things, and here we go. All right. Okay. Now, let's have a look. What I wanted to do was share with you. Share this tab, and I look here. This. Okay. Now, guys, I went, and this is thanks to One Blessed Nana. I went and had a look on the mother, and I'm not talking about the stepmother now. I'm talking about the mother. Now, the mother, lots of sort of kind of nasty things were going around about the mother.
The mother of the two brothers. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
She had a GoFundMe set up too.
She had a GoFundMe set up. That was one of the things people were attacking her about, actually, that she had a GoFundMe set up, and that people were being asked to give her money. But then one of the things that she put up on her Facebook, which I'm not going to show, but one thing she put a photo of some wads of cash up on her Facebook.
Oh.
And people were like, well, why do you need a GoFundMe? And yeah, basically calling her all sorts of names. Also, people were sort of like, well, why did it take you so long to go to the cops? Something like that. Because part of the reason why it was said that the two boys were targeted by Brice was because they supposedly went to tell their mum. So he was wanting to unalive them because they were like, oh, we're going to go tell our mum. All right. So there's lots of a lot of this evidence didn't come in at trial, and I'm sure it was a lot of hearsay as well. But there's lots of talk and chatter from the community about the involvement of the mum and whether or not she was a catalyst for the children being unalived, and that's a horrible thing to say. But
well, I'm just pulling up my notes here on their opening statements. The prosecutor. I can't find it, but it was implied that Brice had a romantic relationship with the brother's mother.
Oh yes, in fact, is one Blessed Nana here or Liana here? Yeah, he and her had some sort of relationship, but what come from the family. Here we go. It was crazy, and lots of things were flung out there. But supposedly she didn't want anything to do with him, and they were never officially a couple. Like so. Never official, right? but there was most definitely something going on, because they were hanging around each other for sure. But no, she wasn't like, we're together, he's my man. That's definite. What's this Jolly Rancher thing? What are you two hot about?
Jolly
Okay.
Ranchers, we used to put those in our Zimas.
Yeah.
I'm probably too old for you. There was a clear color, transparent colored beverage that was sold in a bottle.
No, I
called
know what a
Zima.
Zima is.
Yeah, we'd stick Jolly Ranchers in them. They were
Really?
delicious.
So
I learned what it
anyway,
was from Archer.
before I show you some of the trolling things, I thought what we might do is just have a look at some of the pictures that that his mum has put out there. So she says, I love Brice and Larry. I'll fight for you all like it's my last. Long live, like it's my last. Long live Brice and Larry. It's nice. And then you're right.
When she set up her GoFundMe, I mean, she did have 2 funerals to pay for. Her 2 sons are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Brutally
yeah.
unalived.
And someone, it must have been their cousins, comes along and goes, happy 17th birthday, Cuzzo, birthday king, RIP, Maurice, have to show my family some love. Turn up, spread your wings and fly high up on your days, celebrate a king birthday. And that must be his mum. I love it. Thank you so much. This is so hard. Son, I'll never understand why I miss you so much. Oh, so sweet. That was 6 years ago. RIP, I miss you all. Nice photo on the right there.
There's one that I saw. I forget now who, if it was the defense now, said, must be careful that the 2A, which you have those things, pew pew, if you will, were in the photographs. I don't know if I'm assuming you're not going to show those, but those were all fake ones.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure they were.
Watching you over from heaven, Mum, Maurice and Larry, love you forever. That'd be nice. And there was a painting that was done, and I'm not sure what style you'd call that. He doesn't look very happy, the guy on the right, but anyway, that's nice. So she's made like a little statue or something, or what do you call those? Why would you use those 2 pictures? Yeah, I know, Mads. It was kind of odd to use the photo of him doing the flipping the bird or whatever you guys call it over there.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that's cool.
Yeah, yikes. Who knows? People grieve in their own way, don't they? Yep. With you always. That's nice. That's nice. And I find this really creepy. So that's the mom. Yeah, that's the mom at their little, I don't know,
At the
spot
site.
she's made in the backyard. I don't know if it's the site or if it's a spot she's made somewhere else, because the site was at an abandoned house. So I don't know if she can go there. But
It was behind an abandoned house.
Yeah.
On
And
Height Avenue.
Yeah, but she's superimposed images of her sons like next to this memorial. It looks photoshopped really weirdly. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it
Are they
does.
photoshopped in? I didn't do that, guys. I'm slightly more skilled than that. You've seen.
Wow.
But that's okay. It's okay.
See, I
People
got to
do
get back on
things.
Facebook. I've kind of like abandoned it unless like
Oh,
my
I
son
abandoned it too.
graduated and track
Yeah.
meets and stuff like that.
I
should
had to
probably-
rely on my my Mac keychain to let me in. I was like, please work. Please work, let me in. Okay, so my heart hurts so much for you, but you are a fighter and hopefully justice will prevail. So this was 7 years ago. So yeah, it took a long time. Took a long time. I don't have much faith in our justice system, so it's going to take a lot of people to stand up and stand strong so those bastards get nothing less than life without parole. Oh, well, we'll see. We're still waiting. Right, I'm hurt sick. Bless your heart, girl. I know there is nothing, but I wish I could do something to help to just take an ounce of your pain away. Thank you, love. I hold it together, then I lose it. I can't help it. The pain hurts. R-I-H. I think that's a typo.
Rest in heaven, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, look at
Maybe
you.
not.
That's clever.
That.
My mascot for my website is Mr. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305, if you will. And he always says rest in paradise.
Right.
And he refers
Now,
to someone who's passed over.
here's some things that aren't so nice. So, okay, he murdered them because they had witnessed a murder earlier this month that he committed. He thought the boys would tell what had happened. Shake my head. Them missing, it will all, I can't see what that says. Horrible. It's just so sad. And the mother also knew that. Why not take them to a safe place or to the cops? It's
That's
your
a good
baby's
point. Why didn't she do
lives.
that? That's a good point. Like once they told their, I never thought of that. Once they told their mother, she should have. Oh, that's really a
Yeah.
good point.
I don't know. And this is all, when it says 30 minutes ago, this is from a screenshot posted to her Facebook, like within a month of the incident, right? The mother also knew that, okay, it's the same thing. Wow. And knowing they witnessed it, why did she wait days to report them missing? What?
Well, because Ja'Cory had the phone. And when he would answer the phone, he would, say, oh, the brothers they're busy right now. He had Maurice's phone.
Oh, is that why? But hang on, they've all gone from the house.
And she's like,
they're
okay, no
kids.
problem. Just have them call mama later. For like days.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But they're kids. That they're supposed to come home every night.
Correct. Kind of makes you wonder if they were still in school. This was May
Oh.
21st. Their bodies were found the 22nd, early morning hours.
Oh. Okay.
Unless it
My
was Memorial
son's-
Day holiday or something. Maybe.
But still, my son's got killed because Side did a murder. Okay. Why Reese and Larry was in the car. The guy killed them because he thought my sons were gonna rat, but my sons didn't. But dude, Rambo thought he was, so he killed them for nothing. Yeah, Rambo's clearly not the brightest. Reese took Larry to stay away from him, told Larry to stay away from him, but Larry kept going around because he told them he was going to buy them shoes. They went with him and he killed them.
Yeah, there was a ruse that it was going to be a party. That's how he got him to the Height Avenue condo
Wow.
that the mother was renting.
Wow.
Here, it's in my notes. If I can find it.
Here go the true story. This is his mama. She told me to post this. Wow. Okay. Look, I had a feeling that there was something like this going on. And I didn't want to make a spectacle of the mum. And I still, like, as far as I'm concerned, I want to give full grace to the mother. I don't know what was happening with the mum at the time. And as far as I'm concerned, she is a grieving mother. She is.
Her 2 children were murdered. Brutally.
Absolutely.
Tortured.
Absolutely.
And murdered. Yeah.
Absolutely. Was this, I think she didn't want to get in trouble for letting them doing things with him. Absolutely. And we've got to put ourselves into her shoes, as hard as it is to do that. We don't know her story. We haven't walked in her shoes. And I've always said, do not judge another until you have walked in their shoes. And you just cannot. So I don't know what this lady was going through. I don't know if she felt threatened herself. I don't know if she truly believed that her kids were in good hands. I don't know if she felt like she had any control to go and get them, like if she even knew where they were, or if she truly believed that they were safe. I don't know. And it's a real shame to me that she didn't testify. How was she not subpoenaed to testify?
That's one thing I was really wondering too. The grandma spoke, what, for 5 minutes maybe on the first day, I think.
She had nothing to add. But this woman has clearly a lot to add to the story. So why? I mean, I get she's traumatized, but I've seen many traumatized people have to be put on the stand. So there's a lot that she has to add to this story that I don't understand why she's not required to be on the stand. So
well, that would be an interesting question. Like, can you compel someone to come and speak?
Absolutely.
Like, especially for the sentencing part here. I mean, we just got done listening to
no, I don't think for sentencing.
Brice's stepmother. Why in the world couldn't she be compelled to come and talk about her 2 children that were brutally?
I don't know if you can compel someone to come for sentencing, but for the trial, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, unless there was some really, really like compelling reason why she couldn't testify for the actual trial, like medical reasons. I don't even know of any others. One of the lawyers could tell us, but there are very few reasons why you could get around a subpoena. She might be too much of a mess to be valuable as a witness. I mean, yeah, that would be considered a medical reason, I think. She was likely benefiting from their friendship, friends with benefits. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, this is all very interesting. So
I didn't even think to come and take a gander at that.
Yeah. Tomorrow, DALI will stream the next one, yes?
Sure.
Yeah. DALI, take over.
Okay.
'Cause you know
again?
why?
Or 3:30 Eastern?
Tomorrow
yeah,
it
might as
starts
well.
at 8 a.m. my time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And
That's
it's
all
only
right. We
it's only
just
supposed
do
to last
speedy
in the
trial.
morning.
That's all right. We'll just do replay. So DALI works in the morning. So he doesn't get home till about 3 p.m. Eastern?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, I get home at like 2:15, 2:30, but then I have to
You're
make
in
lunch.
Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's 2 Eastern, but yeah.
Yeah. And DALI has been kind enough to basically just let me take this trial because I woke up.
Did you see this comment from one blessed Nana? She was told to be quiet or the judge would toss her out in one hearing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was a previous hearing though, wasn't it? That wasn't
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, because Rhodes was like looking back and smiling at her and going like, and then looking at her and just being a real see you next Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh. See,
Yeah.
there's always reasons why. Thank you, one blessed Nana.
Always to see you next Tuesday. So we might just go.
I'll send you a invite if you want to come back. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to come back.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be dandy because I had mine scheduled for 8 a.m. my time.
Okay.
Sweet.
And
you can still do it if you want.
I think in StreamYard, can't you like hijack it and put it on 2 channels?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe we'll talk offline about that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Then I could reschedule mine and we just do one together.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
that makes sense. So anyway, yes. So thank you everybody for continuing to come to my channel for the entirety of the trial so far. And tomorrow we will everyone make sure you head over to DALI's channel instead,
Yes.
and we'll still have typewriter cat. We'll still have all the stuff.
Yeah, if I
I'll
would
make
have
sure
known you
my-
guys were doing this, I wouldn't have done it. I was looking and I didn't see
Oh,
anybody.
no,
and
it's
like, oh,
okay.
phooey, I'll do it.
I know.
And then all of a sudden
That's
it's
all
like,
right.
what? I didn't know you were doing this.
It's okay.
It was
Do your
really,
thing.
it just kind of popped up. Like nobody really knew what was happening when it did.
Yeah, it seemed
So,
like a lot of people jumped
Except
on,
Jeff.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Except Jeff. Oh, you're my favorite. You're my
Thanks for
favorite.
having
I
me,
can't say you're my
everyone.
favorite, Nana, but
Oh, so glad you're
everyone's
here.
my favorite. Oh, that's okay. All right, so we're going to close this down, and everyone, make sure that you are a member of the MLSN network. I just quickly put up a link to that. Quickly.
Now where are we going?
We're not going. I can't. I may actually be able to redirect. I haven't worked out how to yet. So I can't do it today, unfortunately.
luck, I'm
Stray's
not
already
sh-
done it.
Yes.
Stray is so on it. I just have
this
to
whole
say
community
thank you.
has entertained me all day. I started with Mo, and then I went to Broken
Yeah,
Baker,
we
and then I
send
went to
people
Nick,
around.
and then I went to David's, and then I
Yeah.
had mine, and then I tuned into yours. It's just been a
Yeah.
beautiful day.
It's amazing.
It's good fun. Erin, what is that in the bottom left-hand corner? Yeah, what is that? Look, we don't know. The chat made it. It
Tell
is
me more.
a crowdsourced version of the defendant. So there you go. We all made it together. Val's live. Okay, sweet. Actually, Straight, would you mind popping a link to Val's
Or
live
I can
in
try
there?
and
That would
find
be
it.
fantastic. Yes, so everyone can go over to Val's live. And could you call it an EU raid? That would be
I will.
awesome. When you all
I
go
will.
over to Val, can you say EU raid? That would be amazing. It's Princess
the
Brice.
alarm?
Yes, Matt.
I got the link.
Princess Brice. You got the link? Excellent. All right. So we'll shut it all down. Everyone watch out on the Discord and on Twitter for the live alert for tomorrow. And
Oh crap! That means I have to set it up.
yeah, well, yes, you have to set it up, but I'll give you the
Yeah, send me
graphics
everything.
and everything. I'll send you all the bits and pieces.
I need to set
And
up.
we'll make it again for 3:30 p.m. Eastern. It's been fantastic, everybody. Thank you, Crime Spice, for joining us. Thank you
Yes,
to
thank
Mo
you.
Thanks for
earlier
having
and for
me.
David. And it's been awesome. And one more day of this, and then we'll move on to something else even more fun. Yay!
Bye, guys.
Awesome. Bye,
Godspeed.
guys.
Hasta luego.
Godspeed. Hasta luego.